Who, Von Miller?
Yeah, man. It's still, even at this age, it's a hell of a pickup for the.
Yeah, because he just got a sack.
Yeah. Maybe my under is safe, but see, I need Rams plus 3.5. So,
ooh,
they're gonna have to come back. I mean, like I said, my thought was this: it's a field goal game, no matter who wins. But I told everybody in the group, I like the Bills. Like I did to win the game. I like the Bills, but to be safe, I said 3.5 on the Rams is probably the safest bet.
Well, that was the alternative spread.
No, the spread was 2.5. I just bought a point.
Okay, yeah, because I even thought 2.5 was a bit much for the Rams being a home team.
They still have the best defensive player in the NFL, maybe ever. They might have the best defensive player ever on their team.
Coming in hot. And there's an argument that they have a top 5 quarterback on their team.
10.
You know what?
You can argue 5, but 10. Let's just throw them into 10.
You know what really bothered me about the Stafford ascension into this elite tier of quarterback?
He's never made the Pro Bowl.
He hasn't made the Pro Bowl. We said we liked his talent, but he always left a little bit of meat on the bone, right?
Yeah, a lot to be desired.
And then we say, hey,
he still left a lot to be desired.
Right, but then we say we love Sean McVay, and he's one of the best offensive coaches in the league. They get together, and then Matt Stafford gets better because the coach is one of the best offensive minds in the league. Then we say, oh, Matt Stafford, top 3, top 5 quarterback. No.
Who did Stafford the 2 times the Lions went to the playoffs? The first time was Schwartz the coach when they went the first time?
Yeah, I think it was Schwartz, and then
I know the second time it was Caldwell. But Caldwell was a good offensive coordinator. I mean, hell, he was Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and he got the Colts to a Super Bowl.
Got Colts to the Super Bowl, and then 2 out of his 3 years in Detroit, he had a winning record. And he fired him
because they wanted to take the next step.
And who do they hire?
Matt Patricia.
I don't have a pencil. You got to put the pencil in your ear. Come on. You got.
I don't have a pencil.
Pen, something that you write with. A highlighter, marker. I don't give a fuck. You got to put it in though. Yeah, that guy.
You know what? I'm gonna be Matt Patricia this whole pod.
You be Matt Patricia. I'll be even though I'm not on anything that he's on. I'll be Belichick's son. Why the fuck did he have the drip so bad that day?
Why is this guy calling plays?
Well, they already said that it's either Matt Patricia or Joe Judge that's calling the offensive plays. Neither of them being offensive coordinators ever. Granted, they were both head coaches, but neither of them being offensive coordinators ever. Because Patricia was D, and then Joe Judge was special teams.
Yeah, and the defense got better when Patricia left and went to Detroit and Brian Flores took over.
Yeah, B-Flow.
Hey, did you have you seen this Roger Goodell NFL commercial that's kind of set up like The Office?
No. They must have showed it before the game.
They showed it on NFL Network about 2 hours ago. And he gave us a little personality. He gave us the worst version of Michael Scott you could ever see. The NFL is really trying to sell us that Roger Goodell is an all-American type of guy that we can all relate to. But the guy makes $63.9 million a year.
Nobody can relate to that.
I don't want to relate to Roger Goodell. I just want him to continue putting the NFL on TV and making it a better product. And I'm okay. I don't have to like Roger Goodell. Just keep doing your job well.
He's one thing I'll say, and I think that it was inevitable regardless of who's in his position. What he has done is make the NFL more money. They make more money every year. Every year under his belt, they made more money.
Here's
the thing, Paul Tagliabue, how I remember Paul Tagliabue, he wasn't like David Stern. David Stern grew the game of basketball.
But he put his stamp on it, and he was a dick.
David Stern also had a
presence, a personality.
He had a presence, a personality, and he was kind of no nonsense. And it didn't matter who it was, which obviously there's always that rumor of Michael Jordan and how the thought is that he silently suspended him, and that's why he really played baseball, because apparently the gambling maybe had something to do with his father's death. Who knows? Nobody knows. But
Somebody knows.
Michael knows.
Yeah.
He's the only one because Stern's gone.
I feel like there's some.
Phil might know too.
There may be some mobsters that know.
Them too.
Because I've heard some
hell, the people behind the cage in Vegas might know.
The people he was playing golf with. Like I've heard some MJ stories, and people just say, I won't say nothing because at the end of the day, like no one's gonna believe me. They're gonna believe what's already out there. And you go, somebody put a price on your head, huh?
That's what it would seem like. But point being, damn, boy, they are moving that ball. But Stern was Stern. Like he, obviously the Allen Iverson thing, the dress code, changing the league's dress code.
Changing the basketballs without asking the players. Yeah,
because what was it? The Spalding, but they went right back.
Yeah, because Bron and Kobe and them said, hey, bro, what you doing?
Yeah, this is a bullshit ball. I remember that ball, too. It was a nice ball. The design was nice.
Yeah, it looked cool. But, I think Roger Goodell is the best commissioner in sports because he keeps the owners happy. He's growing the product. And as much as we love to like Adam Silver for being like a people's commissioner in touch with like social causes and all of this stuff, he's just like the Democrats, man.
Yeah, well, that's why I like Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell, he strikes me as
a Republican.
Oh, it's straight money, bro. It's
money. I don't care about anything else.
Bro. If doing social cause makes him more money, then he's with it. That's why he said that nigga was like, man, they made a phone call to Hove, and they were like, hey, man,
Hove did.
What do we need to do? What are we gonna do about this?
Like he really replaced
Hove.
Did Hove replace Ja Rule?
As what?
The person we call when there's a crisis?
Well, Ja was never that, but that's right. That's the joke of it, right? Ja was actually never that, but like Hove actually is that, and nobody will make a joke about it. Well, fuck that.
Our group text does.
Dave Chappelle will make a joke about anything.
Our group text makes jokes about Hove all the time.
Yeah, it's just like he's like Hove did.
Yeah. You did that raggedy ass lift every voice and sing. We know that's you, Hove.
I was like, Hove did.
But anyway, that's it. I just think Roger Goodell does little things for PR to try to make people think he care. Like the Deshaun Watson suspension, he didn't care about the suspension. He cared about the backlash.
Yes, exactly. And you almost would think that they set that thing up to where Deshaun even secretly knew that he was going to get more games. But they were like, hey, man, look, we got to throw this out there. This is what she did come up with. But you know that we're going to have to get you for more, right? Like, look, man, you already aren't really losing no money. Like, and we're going to let you play. Like, you're going to get the play. And
you're going to conveniently come.
You fucked up. You're fucking up. You're fucking up the money, man. And luckily for you, you're in your prime and you're talented, unlike Kaepernick. That's why that nigga's not in the league.
Yeah.
Okay? He was losing football games, and he wasn't even that good anymore.
And here's the thing. It's a beautiful, intriguing matchup that we have rolling into week, 11 or week 12. He gets to play against his old team first game. I'm of the belief that the NFL did a great job with the schedule. They really looked at the schedule and said, what are the most intriguing matchups that we can put together to get more and more eyes on games that people probably wouldn't watch?
They had a gut feeling about Browns-Panthers because it was kind of like it was either there or he was either going there or Seattle.
Josh Allen just threw a pick.
Yep. First incompletion, technically.
It was the receiver's fault. It wasn't Josh Allen's fault.
Yeah, it went straight through. That was Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah. Come on, son. Be better.
You're a dog. And
Come on, son. Be better.
McKenzie was the best receiver on Georgia when Kirby first got there.
I remember. Yeah, son. You catch it with your hands, not your body. This is 2000.
Nigga, I don't know. Literally rule number one that I learned the first day I stepped foot on a football field as a wide receiver. That's exactly what my coach said. He said, you catch with your hands, not your body.
And it's 2000. It's the 2022 NFL. It's not the 2002 NFL where you probably would catch that with your body because of the hit that's coming. You don't want to be fully extended. But in today's league, you're gonna have time to catch the ball, bring it in before you get hit. Like, come on, son, be better.
And a guy like Josh Allen with all that power, there's zip on the ball.
Oh yeah, it's gonna stick to you.
Yeah, it's plenty of fucking zip, and so
you know what I might do. I might really ride this stick out. I might start laminating the notes before the pods.
Well, you need some chewing gum too.
And really pull the Matty P.
and you got to give us a little bit more beard action.
I can't do that.
I mean, either. Look, I'm a non-facial hair growing dude.
My employer doesn't allow it. It's like the New York Yankees.
There's that too. Yeah,
the Yankees. Mustache. That's all, son.
Yeah.
But let's get to some of these interesting Week 1 matchups. Obviously, we're watching one right now. We have the Rams versus the Buffalo Bills, the 2 Super Bowl favorites. Your reigning Super Bowl champions. Matthew Stafford's on every fucking commercial. He's the new Baker Mayfield. At least he won a ring, so he deserves it a little bit.
As he's on my TV right now. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I brought it up. Versus Josh Allen, the MVP favorite. The guy who they changed the overtime rules for. He looks good. I think that I had a blank, but I fuck it. Rams Bills. I think it's a great matchup. We got eyes on the TV. Everybody would like the Super Bowl rematch, but it's like, can we get more? And we love Josh Allen, so let's give us Josh Allen.
Would they have? Hold on. Do the Rams play the Bengals this year?
They play a first place schedule, so they should.
They're in the West.
No, they play preseason now.
Yeah. So they're not playing. But you could have went a lot of different ways. This was the perfect match. I think
it is. It
was the perfect match because think about it. Even the year when we played, they didn't want us to do that because we could have had our game. Falcons Patriots could have been the season opener.
Yeah,
but instead they set it up pretty well. To where, because we played 2 season openers, I think, against the Eagles both times.
I think so.
But Falcons Eagles is low key a rivalry.
Yeah, after they took Vic.
It's just that there's a lot of history. Like never was against them. There's just a lot of history.
And what they put us out when we beat the Packers, didn't they?
What year? Yes.
Yeah, the Vic year.
Well, we lost to them in the divisional and in the NFC Championship. The what year they did finally go to the Super Bowl, we played them.
And then, the year they won the Super Bowl, yeah. Right through
Julio's every year, yeah.
We seem all here to do what Falcons do. Look at that.
And speaking of Week 1 intriguing matchups, obviously with this being a homer biased podcast towards the Atlanta Falcons, I think that it's easy for us to say that matchup is intriguing. See, you got one of the classic ones, but we got the Go Dogs going over here, baby. Shout out to Georgia for mollywhopping Oregon and putting any doubt away about Stet. First of all, bro, Stet's gonna be, and we'll get to the college.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
But Stet's a Heisman candidate.
Yeah, I think it's like 20-1 now.
Like he'll never go. He's not gonna go get drafted, but like he'll be one of those college football quarterbacks, which is fine.
Baker Mayfield.
Well, that's different. Like, he literally won't get drafted. More like Danny Warfield or
Troy Smith or what? Troy Smith.
Yeah, Troy Smith got drafted, but like it didn't last. Yeah, he didn't last.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
And this is a guy that didn't win a Heisman, but we all know who he is because he won a national championship. Chris Leak. Like guys like that, you know what I mean?
Tebow.
But Tebow's a first-round pick.
A bad one.
He is a bad one, but still. But Falcons.
Saints.
Always an intriguing matchup. Hate week. I know I hate those motherfuckers.
I just left that godforsaken city.
Right. You were just there. What was the temperature like out there?
You know what? It really wasn't that hot out there. I was a little disappointed. Very muggy. Mosquitoes were bad. Bourbon wasn't really bourboning.
Here, can I send you something too?
Yeah, please.
I want you to play this on the cast if you can.
I got you.
I'm literally going to be blasting this on Sunday as we get ready for this game. It's always I just said to check your Instagram. I always look forward to this game because it is always typically competitive, no matter how good or how bad either team is. If we're both good, if we're both bad, if one's good and one's bad, always get a competitive game.
You ready for it?
Yes.
Saints.
Fuck them.
Fuck the Saints.
Fuck them.
Fuck the Saints.
Fuck those Saints.
Hey, you talking about fuck the Saints?
Fuck the Saints.
Hey, fuck the Saints. Hey, I said fuck the Saints. Fuck the Saints. Hey, you talking about? Hey, Parlay. Hey, Parlay. Hey, you had a party. Y'all nigga better pull up. Fuck the Saints.
Fuck the Saints.
Do what?
Fuck the Saints.
Fuck the Saints.
Yes.
Fuck the Saints.
Fuck the Saints.
Fuck the Saints.
Fuck the Saints.
Absolutely.
No. It's fuck the Saints. Say it. God gonna forgive you.
Read my lips.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it.
It's something that you get in this rivalry. You know, and I know that there are a lot of good rivalries in the NFL. I think the Falcons-Saints rivalry is always underrated.
Absolutely.
I mean, of course, we played on Thanksgiving twice against each other, but like, you know,
We're not
always
national
underrated.
brands.
It's the oldest rivalry in the South in the NFL. Let's start there. The two oldest teams in the NFL that are in the South. New Orleans and Atlanta as cities are oddly enough, even though they're not really comparable, they're a rival kind of cities.
They are because they are two of the better nightlife cities
And culture.
and culture.
And they're black cities.
Black cities, you know, you got New Orleans, you got Houston, you got Atlanta. Everybody's competing for the best Southern black city. Sorry, Miami, y'all are different because y'all are in Florida, and Florida's not the real South.
They're nothing but, or as I guys Kyle would say on you guys' podcast, they're nothing but Latinx. And so, hey, I gotta be politically correct these days.
My Latino wife is offended by Latinx.
Hispanic and Latin. How about that? I gotta make everybody happy. I don't really want to be pissed off at me. Did the Rams just fumble?
They did something wrong. I was looking at you and not the TV.
Hold on, where are they at? Let me see.
They're on the 32.
I doubt they punted.
Yeah, maybe they fumbled or they pulled
Shit.
you know, their tenants pulled a Brandon Staley and went for it on fourth down when they could have got points.
McVay.
He's smarter than that.
Yeah, I was about to say. I know that they're because Staley's a 49er guy. No, he was a Ram guy.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Well, they're all right, exactly.
No, yeah, Staley. Yeah, he's really a Fangio guy.
It's all the Mike Shanahan tree.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I still don't think any of them are better than Kyle Shanahan.
Does Mike Shanahan get into the Hall of Fame?
He should have been in yesterday.
He should have, and I think Dick Vermeil is who pointed that out for his thing because Dick Vermeil low key shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but
Vermeil's in too, isn't he?
he just got it. That's what I'm saying. On his speech, he had said Mike Shanahan. Wow, another fumble.
Yeah.
He said Mike Shanahan should be in.
Is that the Bulldog who did that? Yep. Come on, man.
And he should, because if you look at it, oh yeah, that's a good way to get benched, man.
Hey, but you know what?
Jordan
Hey,
got to hold on to the ball
you know why we're seeing all these damn fumbles though?
because they're finally hitting.
Because you can't tackle in practice. Like, you can't simulate holding the ball, taking contact all the way to the ground if you don't hit in practice. I understand player safety. I totally understand it. But there are things that you cannot simulate when you're focused on player safety. The Rams didn't turn it over. I guess they did punt. And you don't practice, you don't play in the preseason. This is what happens when you actually get in between the lines.
Well, and think about it. And every NFL game, I mean, same to college, every NFL game means so much. It means so much. And, that's why guys, I mean, granted, Georgia didn't know that they were really scheduling a slappy, but they did.
I don't even know if they were a slappy. I just think, Bo Nix is a slappy.
Right. Let me not give.
Let's stay away from. Hey, let's stay NFL. Let's stay NFL.
intriguing week 1. Of course, Baker and the Panthers.
I'm going to fuck them up.
In Carolina against Cleveland. I wish that game was in Cleveland so bad. But
Stafford just threw a pick. This is some sloppy ball.
It is, but I love it because I'm going to hit my under.
Yeah.
I just need the Rams to cover that 3.5. That's all we asked for. Is that too much?
That's the Matthew Stafford I know. That's the reason I said short the Rams.
Let me see. What are the odds at right now?
I mean, that was bad.
But the over 45.5 is what the over-under. So my under looks great.
That was bad. That was a terrible pick. Just awful ball placement.
Let me see here.
I was listening to a story. I forgot who was telling it. I think it was Kevin Clark. He was talking about when Tom Brady was working out with Tony G one summer after Tony had retired, running routes on air. And Brady got pissed off because he placed the ball. He just didn't place the ball right. And Tony was like, bro, the pass was fine. He goes, no. If I place that ball where I needed to, you get 20 yards of yak instead of getting tackled right there. And that's the difference between a Matthew Stafford, who y'all want to throw in the Hall of Fame, and the GOAT Tom Brady, who has some great lipo. Not lipo, great
I think, man, I hate to say it, that shit was almost looking
Botox.
stressful.
Huh?
I said that shit almost looked stressful.
Yeah, that Botox. Yeah, that was emergency Botox.
Well, the Giselle, man. Who knows? Maybe he cheated his vegan diet.
Or maybe, she is Brazilian, and their culture down there is a little bit different than our American culture, and we don't know what happens behind closed doors.
Yeah,
no assumptions here.
That's true too. Now, granted, Giselle, certainly if she has any, it's all in her face and nowhere else.
It's showing in her ass.
Yeah, she still looks great though.
Yeah, I think
I didn't even know that she dated Leonardo DiCaprio.
How do you think Tom feels when they show
the models in the world? I'm convinced.
I mean, yeah. How do you think Tom feels when they show up on the red carpet and Leo's just glaring across like?
or he comes up and he's just like, Giselle, Tom, it's good to see you guys again.
Heard you're in the guest house, Tom.
Right. It's like, it's okay. It happened to me too. You got one more step after this.
and
then your wife's gonna go full Kardashian.
And then Tom, you can retire. You can hang out with me. See how I do it.
Right. 25 and under, baby. What keeps me young? I was wondering what keeping you young, and maybe it's football, but
I got something better than football.
Right. And it's basketballs. And so that's another story for another day. But Cleveland
the matchup that I'm kind of looking forward to while we're talking about Tom?
No.
It's the repeat of our Thursday night game last year. We got Dak versus Tom. We're going to see what Dallas looks like without their best left tackle who doesn't really play, and it's not what he used to be. I think
he hasn't really played in like 2 years.
I think we're overreacting to the loss of Tyron Smith, honestly. I think he's really good, but I think that Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy were preparing for him not to be there. And honestly, if you look at like a quarterback like Tom, the left tackle is not as important. And if Dak is making rhythm passes, intermediate short passes, what he typically does, his dink and dunk game, set his guys up for yak, his left tackle not being there is not going to be as significant as it would be for like a Patrick Mahomes type or a Joe Burrow who hangs out in the pocket for a long time and wants to throw the ball deep.
Right.
But I just want to see what the Bucs look like. Julio's number 6. Brady skipped a week and a half of training camp. Their offensive line, they left with Brady, and he came back. They didn't. New head coach.
Yeah.
No Gronk.
Yeah.
No Evan Ingram. I'm sorry. He's a giant.
O.J. Howard.
Evan Ingram. Cameron Brate left too, didn't he?
No, Brate's still there.
Scotty Miller. I'm sorry. Scotty Miller's gone.
Yeah. But I mean, look, we're talking about Julio Jones, Russell Gage.
Julio by God Jones.
Yeah. Russell Gage was Falcons WR1 pretty much all last year. He had the most receiving yards of wide receivers.
I think he's hurt though. Well, he was hurt during camp.
Obviously, Mike Evans been a stable in Tampa since he got there. Think about
1,000
it.
yards.
That guy went from Johnny Manziel throwing him balls to Jameis Winston to Tom Brady. What a come up in life. I mean, and like I said, I like Jameis.
I do too.
I'm a big Jameis guy, actually. J-Boo wins, right? I think that's like his handle.
What do you think he's going to do to us? Pause.
I think he's going to be a little rusty. The thing is, you don't go in with any expectation on a Falcons defense because then you just set yourself up for heartbreak.
He can go for 400.
I'll say this much: the Dean Pease year 2 system, I feel like, has got to be better. He certainly wants it to be better, and he's been very vocal about it. And I like the idea that the old man is coming out and he's saying what he is saying, because at the end of the day, Falcons defenses have always had been pushovers in the league, and he said, I'm tired of this shit. Is basically what he said, and I feel like he wasn't just talking about his defense last year. He was talking about in general.
He's talking to Rich.
His defense has been.
He's talking to Rich and Terry. Mainly Rich.
Oh, Dean?
Yeah.
You're saying Dean was talking to them. Yeah.
Hey, Rich, I need some boys back here, man.
Well, they're trying to do all they can to get us sucked in. Like Friday, Gucci Man performing at Atlantic Station at a Falcons rally with players, and the coach and the GM are going to be there. Like, this is the only city that does something like that because they have to get some sort of interest in the game.
I'd rather than be at Flowery Branch in the fucking facility trying to win games.
Me too. That's all I care about. I care about them winning football games, but at the same time, they don't want this first game. The Falcons, I think the last 3 years have won like 5 games at home. We won 1 last year. No, we didn't win any last year. No, we won 1 last year. We beat Detroit.
Yeah.
That was it. And they technically count the Jets game as a win.
That don't count. We went there for we didn't
we
see
won like 5 games at home the last 3 years. That's alarming, man.
Yeah, and I sit by the visitors. I'm usually surrounded by more of them than me.
Same. Obviously, we're right. We're both on the visitor side, and I'm down there. I could make a crab leg joke with Jameis or something when I see him. Whatever, right? And if Deshaun was playing when we play Cleveland, obviously, I could have had a sign that said "free massages here," and then put a number up or something. But a little rug and tug. Shout out to Judy's name on the league this year.
Any other matchups you care about? I mean, we got Joe Flacco.
Oh, well, come on. Of course, Russ. Come on, man. The Monday night game. You almost missed that, but of course, Russ returning to Seattle, and well, think about it, really, and what he's still once he plays that game, he still will have never played a game. He's played games outside of Seattle, but just the fact that the first game that he gets not in a Seahawks uniform is still in Seattle, it's pretty interesting. And
guess what?
Let's ride.
And he's gonna get booed and booed.
I think he's gonna get cheered to start.
If they cheer him, that's disgusting. That's disgraceful.
Brady got cheered.
Who?
Brady. I mean, he won.
Brady was
Super Bowls there, but
Brady was not retained. Russ asked to leave.
Russ asked to leave because they weren't going to get rid of Pete.
And I mean, we can kind of spin into one of the topics on my ledge, and I'll actually remove it from the ledge. No, we're going to go hang out on Lee's ledge. So Lee's ledge is a new segment that we're going to be doing where I give out some takes that people may not agree with. So I think that I think that Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick had it right when they were looking to replace their established veteran quarterbacks. And I think the powers that be got in the way of them actually making the moves that they wanted to make in order to change their franchise. Pete Carroll is really big on competition. No stone unturned. If you're not competing, I don't want you here. I want the best person for the job, but I also want you to be under some level of pressure so that you never get comfortable in the seat. And he's echoed that. And there's been this idea that in football, your quarterback shouldn't have to compete for a job. The quarterback should be comfortable. But if the quarterback is the most important position in football, I would want him to be comfortable once the season starts. But I don't want you to think that just because you got a 4-year deal here, you can't get your ass cut. You can't get your ass traded. If we find something better or we find something more economical, which is what we saw Pete and the Seattle Seahawks trying to do. Because, Russ got upset when he found out they tried to trade him for the first overall pick. Russ got upset when Seahawks brass showed up to Josh Allen's pro day and showed up to Patrick Mahomes' pro day. Sounds like Seahawks brass had their minds in the right place. Like, oh, we can get younger and we can get better.
Well, there's that aspect of it, but then also, I mean, you can look at it how you want. Wow, bad kick by the Bills. You can look at it that way too, but at the same time, these guys, they could be out there simply scouting as well, in a sense of, well, we know we're going to have to play against them. Let's just see, like, which one of these guys is the real deal. And that way, even if we're not going to select them, we've got the know-how. Or if we do want to select them, we can make the trade. And certainly Russ is so established at this point to where we could get a guy like that and put him in.
But here's the thing. So in the article, it's Schneider used to work. He worked with the Packers.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we had Brett Favre and we went and checked out Aaron Rodgers' pro day. And lo and behold, he fell to us. So they're like, if one of these guys fall to us, we want to have as much information as possible so that we can bring him in. And kind of the last thing with the Russell Wilson thing is that, he got upset because he felt like Pete Carroll, slowed down his MVP bid. And there was a game.
I read that on Pro Football Talk this week. Yeah.
And I read the ESPN article. Let me give the guy credit who wrote it, Jeff Legwold. If I said that right, sorry if I didn't. But anyways, they were up 24-0 in the game at half, and then Pete only called 5 more passes in the second half, and Russ was upset about that because he wanted to get MVP. And I go, hey, man, that's not it. That's not it. Like, you're up 24-0. Passes equal less time running off the clock and easier turnover opportunities. It's one thing if you're up like 2 touchdowns, I got it. It's a 3-score game, man. Really a 4-score game, but it's a 3-score game at the least. I'm not mad at Pete for doing that. The defense hadn't given up any points, and Russ, then if you remember in that season, Russ started turning the ball over a little bit more, and they changed the offense. They started running it more. They didn't let Russ cook as much, and the team still made the playoffs. Now, they fell short in the first round, but they still made the playoffs, and I really think that Pete didn't let Russ cook because Pete understood Russ's capabilities, Russ's limitations, and I don't think we give Pete enough credit for being a brilliant football mind. And to tie it back into Bill Belichick, Bill knew that Tom wasn't what he used to be. He knew what Tom was going to cost. He's like, hey, we don't have the pieces to maximize Tom. Let me go ahead and ride with Garoppolo early because I know that he's competent. I know he can do what we want to do. And you see 2 seasons removed from Tom, they make the playoffs with a rookie Mac Jones. Like, Bill knows what he's doing. But the difference between Tom and the difference between Russ is Tom had the pressure behind him. He wouldn't win a Super Bowl. Because if you're the guy, it don't matter what's behind you. You're worried about what's in front of you.
And same thing with Aaron Rodgers. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but what's he do? He goes out and wins 2 straight MVPs.
Yes.
So, I think that competition's always good. Iron sharpens iron. If you got a young guy, hot shot, first-round pick, or in Tom's case, a second-round pick in Jimmy G, and you're able to go out there and perform better, that's good for everybody. It's good for the team, and it's good for the rook, because then the rook knows that he's behind. He already knows he's behind because he's a rook, but it makes him want to get better. He has to get better. Working with you, he's got to get better. And so I think that they these are things that are needed in the league. We need more of that. And I think that a lot of people, everybody knows I love bringing the Falcons into this, but a lot of people in Atlanta hated that for years Matt Ryan really never had anyone to push him. Chris Redmond,
Matt Schaub came back.
Matt Schaub came back, and he was older, because he was already – I think he had went through that span where he had like 4 straight weeks of pick sixes in games. And so he wasn't the guy – even though he filled in admirably for one of the rare games that Matt Ryan's actually missed, he did fill in. He threw for like 400 yards. But, they just never really – last year it was one of these years it was Bendikirk or some shit.
Last
Felipe
year,
Frank. I mean, these are the guys that were backing people up.
Last year was Rhodes and Felipe Franks.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
But, and I take all of this back to, I get beat up by you guys for saying like I'm anti-Russ. It's not that I'm anti-Russ. I just want to be honest about Russ. Russ is a fucking diva. He is a fucking diva that masquerades as a team guy, and he gets all this love and admiration. The guy, he got to a Super Bowl early behind a historic defense and a great running back who's Hall of Fame caliber. I'm not saying he's going to get in, but Hall of Fame caliber. They get back, he throws the pick, and
you see Randy Moore here.
Huh? Yeah, I see. Yeah, a little Brandon Staley. But it's crickets, It's crickets for Russ. And he doesn't get the scrutiny that he deserves, and everybody always wants to point back to Pete this, Pete that. The offense is too conservative. The defense isn't what it used to be. Good tackle. That's a great tackle. They better not give him forward progress. They're going to give it to him.
That's a first down, sir.
That's push it back. He does not deserve forward progress for that.
He was never down. He leaned.
He was stopped, though. He was stopped.
It was a great tackle. He just didn't finish. Or he didn't.
Without the people from behind him came in and pushed him forward.
Hey, man, look. This is what I'm saying. That's a first down.
That's a first. Different angle, yeah.
They're already there anyway.
Yeah, Sheldon, he was already there. He was already there.
Sheldon credit for pushing him forward.
Absolutely.
But that's how he actually got it. Because he was right at the line. They would have had to measure if he didn't do that. But
damn, that's a good tackle.
God, Cooper Kupp is such sure-handed too, man. I like Cooper Kupp. And the thing is, I know that he gets a lot because of what he did last season, but man, he was so great in college too. He's like the NCAA leader in yards. He has the record. Granted, it was at East Washington, but
Cooper Kupp doesn't get the respect that he deserves because he's white.
Yep.
People think he's like a Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman guy. He's not.
He's more a Wes Welker, but way better.
But he's also bigger.
Wes Welker had 4 straight years of 100 yards and 1,400 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns.
Let me see.
And this motherfucker, Cooper Kupp had, I think, 18 touchdowns last year, or 19 or something. Bro, he put up video game numbers last year.
Cooper Kupp's also 6'2". He's not little.
Yeah, Wes Welker was 5'9".
Cooper Kupp is the size of your number one receiver. He had I want to say his 3-cone was as fast as Devontae Adams, and for receivers, that's better to tell you how good they'll be over the 40 because the 3-cone lets you know how they're cutting and shit.
He's just white. There's 2 positions in football where white guys just aren't the guys, and that's wide receiver and quarterback. It's the most. No. At wide receiver, you got to be a slot guy. You're okay. Yeah, but I'm saying being an X or a Y.
Yeah, no, you can't play X or Z as a white guy.
Yeah.
Really, an X, you damn sure can't play X. But no, you name a white corner.
You can't. I think Boink brought this up one time.
Adam Archuleta's the last one.
Well, Jason Sehorn. I mean, it's
Jason Sehorn. Yeah.
These are the guys. They're just positions that aren't typically dominated by a white player, and they're also the most diva swag positions on the field. Wide receivers have style. Cornerbacks play with flair. These guys, they have personality. White guy like Cooper Kupp is just a put my head in the dirt, go out and fucking catch the ball, man, and get these yards, get that yak.
I had a friend who played defensive back at a Division I college program. and his DB coach said that he would not play white guys in his defensive backfield, and this coach was white.
Hold on.
And, you know, I'm not saying that's the right answer. I'm just saying, you know, here's what we see. White boys don't play corner.
They don't. And then even rarer, well, not rarer, but almost just as rare, even safety now.
Well, yeah, because now we have less box safeties and we have more of these, you know, like, yeah, you can go be a John Lynch thumper. Ooh,
hell, John Lynch, the last elite guy that I can remember playing the position and being white.
Weddle was close.
Okay, well, Weddle's like mixed.
Is he?
He doesn't look white. He doesn't look 100% white.
Well, no one's 100% anything, are they?
Like John Lynch was all-American white guy.
Eric Weddle had a beard and a flat brim hat. Yeah, he's white. He's definitely white.
He's 100%.
I mean, it's looking like it. Let's see, personal life. He got married in La Jolla.
Let me see. Eric Weddle. Is he white?
He grew up. Let me see. I'm seeing white. He hooped. He played baseball. Yeah, I'm seeing a white boy, man.
Let me see. Eric Weddle. Ethnicity.
Yeah, it's giving me white.
Well, maybe he is, and if he is, I can guarantee that Eric Weddle is the type of guy that's got like a black, he's got like a black wife or something. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. Does it not kind of strike you maybe as that being it? Like,
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he listens to rap music. Cooper Kupp definitely listens.
He's in the league. That motherfucker played on the Ravens defense.
Yeah, and Cooper Kupp just caught a mean touchdown.
On Poyer too. Pretty good.
I don't know if they're gonna give it to him though.
I think he got it. Let's see.
Yeah, they gave it to him. Ball's moving. The ball was moving around, but yeah.
Bro, he put 3 feet in.
But the ball was bouncing a little bit. Bouncing around. Let's see.
He's a beast.
Hey, do you think that Aaron Donald was really going to retire? Like, you know, he's sitting in his paperwork.
I just think that they wanted him. I think that the $30 million, he just wanted to get paid like a quarterback because he's the best defensive player in the league and possibly all time.
The Rams said they received the paperwork and he didn't, and they didn't send it to the league office. You think Kroenke looked at it and said, "Hey, pay that motherfucker. It's my money."
Basically, he told Les. He said, "Look, Les, I don't know what Arthur was doing with you in Atlanta, but he's like, I tell you what, Les. He's like, you're a big fan of hockey. He's like, who won the Stanley Cup? Colorado Avalanche. He's like, you know who owns them, right? Then he just looked at him. He's like, who won the Super Bowl? We did, right? He's like, you know who owns it, right?
Hold on. You know what family I married into.
Right. You realize that you've been shopping at my wife's store your entire life, right?
And you see who her brother just bought and how much he paid for it.
What is $30 million to me to get that motherfucker on the field? And because he's such a once-in-a-lifetime talent, nobody's going to match that. We're not – yeah, the market changes to where the next great defensive tackle, what? Grady Jarrett got 18 and a half, and Grady Jarrett, you could argue, is a top 5 defensive tackle in the NFL. Nobody's going to get paid what he's getting, even defensive player in general. Nobody's getting – what did Von Miller get, like $23 million a year?
Something like that. And everybody said that it was an overpay in the way the contract is structured. It's a front-loaded contract, so it looks bigger than what it is.
Once he's 30, probably 7?
30, no, he's like 32. He's Cam Newton's draft class.
He's at 35, 36. And then he'll ring chase or go back to Denver.
Yeah.
Is that not how this stuff works? Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of stuff like that, this is just a random tidbit because I saw it from The Athletic. I got an email. We talked about him earlier. Matt Schaub You saw Matt Schaub got named like
33
the vice president of the NFLPA.
He got what now?
He got named like the vice president of the NFLPA.
What does that mean to me?
I don't know, but like it's just interesting because it's Matt Schaub, and anytime there's anything Falcon related, it just
We are all here to do what Falcons do. Look at that.
Do you have an athletic
NFLPA executive director?
I think that's a good move. He's fresh out of the league.
Fresh out of the league, and he's played both sides. He's been a guy that was a backup, then was a Pro Bowler, and the best player on a playoff team, then went back to being a veteran backup. And he's a quarterback.
Yeah, I think he's one who understands both sides. And so often we forget that people don't understand both sides when we put them in positions. Like you look at someone like Chris Paul, people go, oh, yes, it's great what Chris Paul's doing for the NBA Players Association. I mean,
he's an asshole, though.
What Chris Paul does is great for high-end players and older high-end players. It's not great for somebody like what's his name? The Manimal. What's his real name? Kenneth Faried.
Oh yeah, guy that's been out of the league now 3 years. Maybe.
He kind of got like phased out, and the amount that you would have to pay him at his age and years in, it's not worth it. But he's probably more valuable to a team than some of these young guys who are on the team.
Him. Who's another guy?
I mean, Blake Griffin might be cooked now.
Thomas.
Yeah. They cost too much for what they bring because of the CBA.
And think about it. It's so crazy. Isaiah Thomas, the year he got injured, contract year, but averaged 30 points a game, bro. How sick is that? He didn't get a deal.
Well, he should
ended up getting dealt to Cleveland.
And then he pissed off LeBron.
Well, you know you can't do that in this league.
No. Rich Paul will put out a hit on you, and it's over with.
Yeah, Rich doesn't stand for that type of stuff. But speaking of Rich, they Colin, he texted me today. So he's out there in Utah trying to find a house. So he's still on to do the show, and hopefully, I think he's coming to the game with us on Sunday.
Okay.
So we'll get to meet him, and we can even talk and get the date solidified. Okay. He doesn't report until October 1, but he is, and he's out there. He's trying to buy his house. He's going to buy a house out there. I mean, it makes a ton of sense. And I told you this in the group. So I told him about your take.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I worked out with him. So we actually worked out. We went out to the tennis court. You know how in football, how wide receivers have the ball shooter?
The jug machine, yeah.
Yeah, so we were out there doing that in tennis. Man, I hadn't worked out like that in so fucking long. And, of course, to see him do it, it's like it looks easier for him. And I'm out of breath and shit. And I'm like, all right, you get in. You get in. But hell of a workout.
Just hitting tennis balls.
Yeah. Well, because think about it. You're working your legs, but then your arms too, and just coordination in general.
I was a tennis player back in my day.
Never. I did lessons like once when I was like 11, and then I did it. I took it as a course at Morehouse, and that was it. I never. Julian was like Henry County Player of the Year.
Yeah, Julian, he
pretty good apparently.
Yeah, he wrote it out. I stopped in the 8th grade because I was on the tennis team, and then I made the baseball team, and the baseball coach made me quit the tennis team. He said, you can't play both.
Are they both spring sports?
Yeah. He was like, you're going to – because the tennis coach was like, hey, you only got to come to practice once a week just to hit around and then go to baseball practice and then come to the tournaments. And the baseball coach was like, no. You're going to mess up your swing. I go, dude, I've been doing this every year. I would play tennis. I would play baseball. Real quick, non-athletes trying to coach are some of the worst things ever. Like, hey, because you're playing tennis, you're not going to play baseball, right?
Well, look, they gotta get somebody to coach the team. And typically it's a teacher. And unless the teacher's got a background, like luckily for me, like basketball, typically basketball coaches did play. Like my coach, Coach Barry, he got drafted in the NBA. He never played. He made a whole career overseas. He was the French teacher because he played in France, so he knew how to speak French fluently. But then the wrestling coach, for instance, was this fat guy. It's like he looks like somebody that gets his popcorn and beer and goes watch Stone Cold Steve Austin down a few beers and hit a couple stunner. The fuck does he know? What the fuck does he know about technical wrestling? Like real wrestling?
So I came from a high school with my high school. We had we're a state championship wrestling program.
Really?
Like our middle school team won region damn near every year. And our high school, my cousin, he has,
You got that middle school is a feeder school then.
Yes. And my cousin, he won state twice while he was in high school.
And they do so many different weight classes too, right? Like 120, 125.
Yeah, they got all that.
Yeah.
I considered wrestling, and I was like, I was too young and immature to be like in the singlet rolling around on a dude. I'm like, nah, that ain't.
I mean, I guess did you wear a cup in football?
Nah, I did in baseball, but I didn't wear one in football.
Yeah, me neither.
The cup was uncomfortable, a lot of chafing.
I feel like it slows you down in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're always adjusting.
Like it might even cut you a little. Like
yeah, and you're always adjusting so it looks like you got stinking nuts.
Yeah. But right, you're putting your hand in your pants to move it around.
And see, this was in the days before, everybody was just getting the compression shorts. Like, I had a jock strap. You ever wear a jock strap?
Yeah, I wore a jock strap in football.
Yeah, you just sitting there fucking ass cheeks out.
Basically, when you first get into the locker room. I wore a jock strap the 1 year I did football, but like I said, I was more of a compression short guy, especially for basketball. Compression shorts. I got a funny story too. One time before a game, man, I put icy hot on my balls.
Why?
I don't know, man. I was an idiot. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was just doing stuff, and like everybody like said that I wouldn't do it, and I was like, watch. Now, Grant, we got a regional game.
Just threw a pick.
Good.
You know what?
That's his second pick. That Hill's second pick?
Yeah.
Boy said he's going to lead the league this year.
You want to hear a funny compression short story before I get into the Bills being overrated?
Is that Jamison Crowder?
I didn't see. I'm looking now.
Number 80?
I assume so.
I think that's Jamison Crowder. Man, who would have thought he was still getting yeah, that was just a telegraph pass. But, like, man, who would have thought Jamison Crowder was still getting some tread in the league?
I mean, he could play for us.
Slot with the Jets, but I'm just saying. Like,
he could play for us today.
we have the
quick
receiving core in the NFL.
Let me tell you a quick compression. Yeah. Let me tell you a quick compression short story. Sophomore year, playing a little JV, right? Got this one guy. He played JV, but he dressed on the varsity team too. Got no burn, just sit on the end of the bench. We get done with the JV game. He's like, hey, man, can I wear your tights? I go, no. What do you mean, can you wear my tights? I just got done wearing these tights. Like,
right.
There is a heart-shaped brown nut print in these tights. Why would you want to put these? For one, body, that's gross. Two, why do you think I would want these back after you put these on your body? And my mom's not buying me a new pair of compression shorts just because I said, oh, yeah, I let so-and-so wear my dirty compression shorts, and I don't want them back. I'm not playing in cotton draws.
Guys are weird. Like,
think about when we were in middle school and we played in cotton draws.
Sweaty. Like drenched. They damn near turned into what the fuck is Stafford doing? They damn near turned into compression shorts.
Hey, look, we've got to bring tackling back to training camp. This game is some slop, and they're about to call PI, and that was not PI.
Let's see. Hold on, I'm a little behind you. Let's see what it is. Yeah, it wasn't, but it's Cooper Kupp, and I don't know who Johnson is.
I know why they called it.
And because he's the Triple Crown winner, and they get those calls, and they're at home, and it's the NFL. Look, the perfect thing would be if they run this clock down, don't get a touchdown, and kick a field goal.
No, he held him. He held the hell out of him. Yeah, that was cool.
Regardless, we know look, Rodgers there. All Rodgers got to do is shoot a text.
Funny thing about Roger, he did an interview today on NFL Network, and he was asked who would he like to see in the Super Bowl. They're like, "Who's your Super Bowl prediction?" He goes, "The Super Bowl is going to be in Arizona." And it's like he can't give a prediction because if he does, and one of those teams gets in, it's fixed. The league is fixed. I told you, it's the NBA all over again. Tim Donaghy.
The NBA, you know what the thing with the NBA?
It's fixed.
The NBA does seem like it could be fixed.
You got to watch the Tim Donaghy.
But the one thing that I know, I need to really catch that. And you already watched it. I don't know if you'd be down to watch it that night, like if we go out and get back, like and after football. I haven't watched it, so like I do want. How long is it? Is it like parts or is it like one whole doc?
No, it's like an hour. It's less than 2 hours.
Okay, but is it like parts, like 3 parts, or
no? It's one part.
One full doc.
I'm
interested because of obviously the gambling aspect, and I know that now it's come out that he spoke on that Kings Lakers game, which that's like one of the more obvious games that everybody always talks about. That Sacramento team.
The thing that will get your attention is the way the NBA handled it when the FBI got involved, and the FBI wanted to do a sting, and then somehow that story got leaked that they wanted to do a sting, and so they obviously couldn't send Donaghy in to do the sting once it got leaked, because obviously David Stern's going to save his leak, and call that guy rogue and not just part of the boys.
David Stern is low key. He low key was, and we were talking about the commissioner earlier. He low key was a mob boss. Nigga, cold envelopes.
Not low key, he was
cold envelopes.
But he actually did the right way. He didn't talk about it.
Well, and the fact that he was the head of the league from Jordan to LeBron. He shook Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe's hand. He shook basically your 3 biggest stars. Matt, he wasn't the commissioner when Magic got drafted, but either way, he shook your last 3 faces of the league. He might have been the GM when he might have been the commissioner when Giannis even got drafted.
Real quick Giannis thing I saw for his documentary that's coming out way too soon.
Well, he's already from the movie on Disney too, though.
It said from the streets of Athens to the NBA. I'm like, bro, you know how many niggas in the NBA came from the hood? Give a damn about him being from the hood? Hey, as we get closer to halftime, Buffalo is up by 3. But do you think, oh God, this is some bad football.
I love it, though. I'm going to hit my under in the first half. I took under 25. I would like for the Rams to score a touchdown here just because I have them. I mean, they're covering regardless. I have them plus 3.5, but I would love for them to cover. I mean, like to go up.
Oh, come on, Matty. Oh yeah, no, that coverage cannot break down. That's bad. That's bad. That line is just not good.
Well, and that might be, and that's what I was. Well, but the Bills. I mean, I stopped acting like that Bills defense wasn't ranked number 1 overall last year, and they added Von Miller.
Yeah, but they played against bad teams, and that was a 3-step drop.
Damn. I'm getting smoked in my WNBA game.
Well, that's your problem.
I know, right? Why did I even bet on this dumb shit? I went against it's because they outscored them 18-8 in the third quarter. I bet against the new CP3. Or maybe the real CP3. It's something
because she got rings with hers, right?
Well, ring, they're like she's an MVP, a defensive player of the year, Olympic gold medalist, NCAA champion. They're like, how is she not the real CP3? And it's just
nobody
like
watches her.
Because nobody watched it, but Chris Paul also trademarked it. He's been calling it since day. His career started before Candace Parker's. They were kind of around the same time, but his started before hers.
And he Mofa.
Right. They're both Hall of Famers. They're going to go into the same exact Hall of Fame. But, come on, man. It's not because he's a man. It's because he plays in the NBA, which men just so happen to be the only players in it.
Do you think we could get a camera crew to cover us just going through the College Football Hall of Fame and make that like a pod?
I would be down for it. I've never even been.
Me neither.
Yeah, I've never been. And it's
Real
crazy.
quick, let's watch this field goal, and then we'll talk about too much preseason Bills hype. 57 yards. This ain't Justin Tucker, man. Come
You
on
think
now.
Matt Gay gets it?
I think that's my kicker, and I think he got it.
Oh, well, you love it.
Let's see. Go to the old fantasy app here.
He did, in fact, get it.
He did get it.
He got plenty of leg. They said he would have been good from 68. That's record type shit.
Well, they got that heat wave going on in LA right now, so yeah.
Man, it was so fucking hot out there this past weekend. It was
Temecula's already hot, period.
But not just there. I mean, San Diego. I was in San Diego and LA. They were both.
Oh, that is right.
I basically did the tour of Southern California. The 3 places to go in Southern California, I hit all last week. It was burning up.
But did you guys have a good time?
You would think being close to the water like that you don't get that type of heat, but
Global warming, man. Climate change. Don't let the Republicans tell you that it's not happening. It's happening.
Well, we got to get with the commissioner of the United States, because that's basically what the president is, right? He's like the commissioner.
Yeah, he runs this thing.
Yeah, apparently. Even though Congress runs. But he's kind of just the mule. He's the face. Just like even with the NFL. I mean, we all know the owners are who run the league. They're the guys that own – there's 32 guys that own 32 different corporations. And some of them more than one.
Kroenke, he has a little influence on too. But hey, are the Bills overhyped?
I thought that first drive was very impressive.
Okay.
Overhyped. I don't like how everybody is literally picking them to go to this. Even if you're not picking them to win, everybody, including myself, everybody is legitimately picking them to go. I think that they are that good, but I also think that the expectation is so high to win. And I get it. There's like 5 teams every year that it really is Super Bowl or bust. Buccaneers, Super Bowl or bust. Rams, even though they just won, it's still Super Bowl or bust. The Packers had been a Super Bowl or bust team. I don't even know if that's really the case this year, but like
at Aaron's age, you would think it's Super Bowl or bust.
Bills, Super Bowl or bust.
Why are the Bills there? They've only made it to the second round, and then they lost their OC.
One AFC championship.
Huh?
2 years ago, they were in the AFC championship.
I'm talking about last year. They only made it to the second round, and then they lost their OC, and they haven't been able to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Why should I crown them?
I think the thought is that they don't have to run into Patrick Mahomes more than likely this year.
Yeah, because Patrick Mahomes doesn't make the playoffs.
Exactly. Either that or he's going to be such a low seed to where even if they play him, they're going to play him in Buffalo. And we saw what Buffalo did to New England. Man, you want to talk about an ass. I mean, those people have been waiting for years for that type of game. Again, especially against Bill Belichick. Fuck if Tom Brady's out there. Who cares? It's still the Patriots. And to whoop Bill's at, those are the type of games that you're always waiting for. Like, I think they're just a team that's on the come right now. Like, and it's just kind of one of those things where they.
What does it mean if you're on the come?
So if there's a point in craps and you're on the come, it's basically we're just waiting on it to hit.
Okay, I thought that meant like
betting point. You're basically betting point.
I thought you meant like you were hepatitis and you're like on the come, and as you're coming, you're passing on the hepatitis.
No, not sexual at all. Nothing to do with bodily functions. Only thing to do with gambling.
Hey, are you happy to see that Drew Brees got fired after a year and not having to hear his terrible analysis and lack of energy at halftime?
Not very good.
He sucked.
Not very good. And I'm trying to think, who do they have on Amazon for Thursdays?
Sherm, Herb Street.
I know Herb Street and Michaels are calling. But
Herb Street and Michaels are calling, but they got Sherm.
Sean Payton.
Huh?
Sean Payton,
Sherm. They had Akeem, but he decided to step away because of his brother's legal troubles.
Naturally.
Akeem is so good. He was raw, and he needed some refining, but he was so good. Once his stuff with his brother goes away, he'll come back to a job in broadcasting. I really like Akeem, but I just think the Bills got too much preseason hype because they haven't proved enough, and they're just too like we're acting like Lamar and the Ravens aren't coming back. We're acting like Patrick Mahomes doesn't exist. We're acting like Derek Carr didn't just get the best receiver in the league. We're acting like, Justin Herbert, his team didn't get better, and he's not arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We're acting like the Bengals didn't shore up their offensive line. We're acting like the Steelers didn't get a better quarterback, and they're a wild card. They are a wild card. It could be anybody on any given day.
I noticed you didn't bring up the Broncos.
Why would I bring them up?
Because they've been a consistent 7-10, 8-9 team.
And they're going to be a consistent 9-8 team this year.
Well, but they're adding a Super Bowl winning quarterback
who hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2013, and his play has taken a step back.
Whoa. Now, hold on. He's been better. Statistically, he became a better player post those Super Bowls. Similar to Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady, when they won those first 3 Super Bowls, Tom Brady was not lighting up.
He was handing it off.
He was a 3,000-yard guy, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. Good, but not great. Then once the defense, McGinnis, Brewski, Richard Seymour, once those guys were kind of gone, then they were replacing them with guys like Junior Seau, who's on the back end of his career. Then that's when Tom was throwing for 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, 8 picks. And then, then he had I guess he had 5,000 that year, the 50 touchdown season, 5,000 yards, like that type of shit. When he was actually putting up Peyton Manning numbers.
But Brady was winning championships and getting to AFC championships like that.
Did you know that Tom Brady's never had a losing season in his whole entire career? How impressive.
And Russell just had his first one. But here's my knock on Russell, right? He's not running anymore. What made Russell so great was the threat of the run. And even in that article, one of the things that came up that really had Seahawks brass upset is Russ had a wide open field to get a first down. He throws the ball and it gets picked off. And it's like, hey, man, are you worried about your stats or are you worried about winning games? And I just think Russell is into Russell. I think Russell, he has a receiver's mentality. He has a point guard in the NBA's mentality. They say that he compares himself to like the Bradys, the Mannings. You're not that, dog. You're Drew Brees if you're lucky.
Fair. And let me tell you, being within the Drew Brees category isn't bad either. Like, you want to know who Drew Brees actually is, but better? If we had to, if you did a versus of NFL careers, Drew Brees versus Brett Favre. Brett Favre has 3 MVPs. Drew Brees has none. But they both have 1 Super Bowl. Brett Favre didn't even win Super Bowl MVP for the Super Bowl that he won. It was Desmond Howard.
The worst college football analyst on TV.
Drew Brees, yeah.
No, I'm talking about Desmond Howard.
Oh. Well,
that man's terrible.
Drew Brees would do Notre Dame stuff too for NBC.
When I look at Drew Brees on TV, we didn't shout out the Queen.
Fuck that old bitch. Nah. I won't take the route that everybody else in the group took.
I won't take it publicly.
I think it's one of these things where she. And I'm not trying to be funny. She was an old bag of dust, bro. Like
she's 96
years old, man. She's lived 2 lifetimes in a lot of communities, and so we're talking about she basically lived 2 50-year lives. Like
I'm not from the UK. She doesn't affect me. I just don't. I hope her family finds
British or nothing like that. Like I fuck with our brothers and sisters over in the UK, like I do. But like,
I hope her family finds the solace that they need. Other than that,
during this tough time,
yeah. Other than that,
that. Hope I didn't get fucking COVID.
I'm vaccinated, so I'm gonna let you know. I'm not gonna social distance.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm vaccinated too, but like, It was a guy that was coughing behind me on the plane from LA.
Oh.
But he wasn't covering his mouth. And like low key, I almost turned around and said something to him because he was sitting behind me and
Was
like
he
got a
white?
nasty cough. And this is a red eye.
Was he white?
Yeah, he's an old white guy. He's clearly like late 60s, almost early 70s, kind of out of shape and like.
Oh, he could be kicking dirt soon.
Yeah, basically. And the motherfucker was coughing. Torres sitting next to me. I'm like, bro, is he gonna cover his fucking mouth or what is this? And so I want to say that that's almost where I got it from, this cough. And it, like I said, I don't have a fever, anything. I mean, I went to a funeral today and we had to wear masks and take temperatures. Like the only thing I have is my nose is a little stuffy, and then I'm not coughing the entire time, but I do have a cough. But I think I'll be better. I haven't taken any medicine either. So like, and it kind of started yesterday.
So look here. I'm not sleeping in your room. I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm fine.
Yeah, you'll be good. Plus,
let's see.
I'm good to go by Saturday anyways.
True. Based on the CDC guidelines that we don't follow anymore and Fauci stepping down, who knows? Free for all. Monkeypox.
I'm not missing that game. I've been waiting too long for this.
Who you telling? Hey, do you think Lamar gets a deal done on Friday? They say deadlines get deals done. He says Friday, it's over with, and he's not talking about it until the offseason.
They're going to have to give him $50K. Is this DK playing Steel Dre?
Yeah. I'm not – my volume's not on, but, yeah, whatever it is, it's DK. Yes, DK. They got Cameron Jordan. They got Simone Biles. They got Lil Wayne.
Everybody just loves the fucking
Derwin James. Pusha T. I assume that girl in the 49ers jersey is like Sweetie or somebody. I don't know.
Why does Tom Brady fuck with – yeah, that's exactly what that looks like.
I don't really know what Sweetie looks like.
You think Jay-Z's got his hands all over that?
Come on now.
Hove did, right?
Come on, how you get Wayne and pushed there? You know, they beefing. They was beefing for years.
Oh, you know, that is true. They're both in the same commercial. That's very interesting. Yeah, I guess.
Only Hove can make that. Hove or Jay Prince.
I wonder if Drake's a Buffalo Bills fan.
Depends on the day of the week.
I know he's a big Odell Beckham fan. Obviously, he's got a little bromance with him. But
you think it's a bromance, or you think they do gay stuff?
You know, people have said that they think that. I mean, look, Hollyweird is Hollyweird. So
no judgment if they do gay stuff. It's just
well, you know, they should probably let the women that they screw, because they both screw women too.
So probably screw the same women at the same time, you know.
It could be that. It could just be one of those things where they switch women and they orgy and they compliment each other's penises.
And the women may hang out with each other while they, you know, you never know what happens inside the bedroom that you're not in.
Well, then they sign NDAs.
Oh yeah.
They'll have them put in jail for years if they even said anything, and then they'll adamantly deny it.
And the phones are downstairs.
Say that she didn't mean it. Please don't, put them in jail. And then they're like, no, she's going to jail.
And the phones are downstairs.
Oh, and then by the way, her family, if they want to come out and speak about it, they can get some of this jail time too.
Yeah. I mean, I bet those NDAs are ironclad. I'm talking about they came straight from the McNair family.
Or the James household. Now, I'm not saying LeBron does anything, but I'm just saying that's a squeaky clean fucking superstar, bro, that ain't never had nothing on his resume.
And I see how Rihanna looks at him. So does Lamar get a deal done?
No. I don't think that we wake up tomorrow and see Lamar with a $50 million, a 5-year, $250 fully guaranteed.
Hey,
that's what he wants. He wants $50 a year. He wants it fully guaranteed because Aaron Rodgers is making $50 a year. And granted, he's a 3-time MVP, but he's making $50 a year. And then D Watt's shit is fully guaranteed. So that's what he wants. He wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL, and it needs to be fully guaranteed. And I don't think that it gets done. I think, look, we both agree. I got him as Offensive Player of the Year. You have him as MVP. I think that he is going to ball out this year. And I think that either they're going to pay him or what he really wants to happen is going to happen. He's going to get franchise tagged. He'll probably play well again. They won't do it again. And then Miami will know whether or not they're moving on from Tua by then.
Hey, do you have an athletic subscription?
I do not.
Okay, so I was reading The Athletic. Let me give a plug to somebody who's not going to pay us, right? So if you get a New York Times subscription, you get a free athletic subscription. It's just like $6 a month or something like that. Like $6. I don't know. I paid more for less. Anyways, so I was reading this article, and 26 agents were speaking about NFL stuff, and obviously they're anonymous because they want to protect themselves and protect their clients. And it was really interesting to hear them talk about the Lamar Jackson piece, right?
Yeah.
Because some agents were like, he needs an agent. He doesn't know what he's doing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're just trying to protect yourself in your job. And then one agent was like, people are critical of Lamar, but Lamar has a plan, and everyone's bothered by it because he hasn't told them his plan. Like he's not talking to the media. He doesn't have an agent. And so it's different, but another sack, bad snap, bad football. But at the end of the day, Lamar has a plan. And if you listen to what's being kind of leaked, it's what you just said. He wants to he wants to go Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
He just wants to go Kirk Cousins.
It benefits him because the only gamble is his health because he does run the ball a lot. That's the only gamble. The stats, the accolades, the appeal, the superstardom, it's all there. And he's a Heisman winner. Think about it. You know how long it took for the NFL to finally get it right when it came to the guys that were Heisman winners getting drafted, actually being good in the league. For so long, anyone that was a Heisman winner was a straight college type player. They were Matt Leinart, like these guys. They were never. None of them. Really, none of them.
Reggie Bush was good but disappointing.
No, Reggie Bush, I mean this to this day. Reggie Bush is the greatest college football player, bro, I ever witnessed. I swear to God, man. He made it look so easy out there.
Eric Boyd was at the Fresno game when he did the back juke. The first time we ever saw a back juke, Eric Boyd was at that game.
Wow. But he's a California kid. Tinseltown, right?
Yeah, he's the LA guy. But still, he was. You never expect the big moment to come from the USC Fresno State game.
Man, well, right, your Heisman moment. But USC was also kicking everybody's ass, so it didn't really matter who it was against. He just did something that was unreal. But
yeah, Lamar was one of the ones who transitioned properly, right? He won the Heisman. He came into the league. Rookie year, he plays late. He makes a difference, gets him to the playoffs. I mean, he has one of the highest winning percentages in the league since he's been starting. Yeah. There's some meat on that bone. But look how long it took Matt Stafford to get the meat off the bone.
White quarterback.
And he got paid at the top of the market. And they say, oh, well, Lamar doesn't make the passes this, he doesn't do that. Matt Stafford hasn't made a Pro Bowl, and he still got paid. He was still the highest paid quarterback multiple times in the league because he was up, which goes back to what we talked about last week. Lamar does not need a fucking agent because all the agent is doing is taking the money that he's going to make anyways.
That the market itself is it's a preset table. We know what's on the menu. We know what utensils are needed. We know everything about the restaurant. We know what drinks, what cocktails are going to be served. We know everything about that market.
Hey, the one thing I did hear, though, Jason McIntyre, he's replaced Joy Taylor on the herd.
You're very happy about that, too.
I don't have an opinion on that yet. I don't know how well he feels that role.
Yeah, you do. You know goddamn well you said great. Now I can
Joy Taylor, she got a promotion to a job where she's going to get more time to speak, and I think that's great for her career. But anyways, he said, look how much money Lamar has left on the table in endorsements. We don't see him on any endorsements. Hey, dude, maybe he doesn't want to do those endorsements. I'm sure the phone calls make it to him or his mom. I think that people have an idea of what they want star athletes to be, and they talk about leaving money on the table. But if you come from very little, and for the life of Lamar's contract and the endorsements he has received, he's probably set for life if he manages money properly.
Absolutely.
So he's in a win-win for what he's looking at moving forward. It's okay to bet on yourself when you've already set yourself up to be good for life. You know, I think far too many people in the media speak from a place of privilege because a lot of them come from that. And they're trying to squeeze every dollar out of every opportunity and get a certain level of security. Like, hey, I want this 5-year deal that pays me this dollar figure. And then you got somebody who grew up less fortunate, like, hold on, bro, y'all gonna give me $8 million a year to do something I would do for free? And all I got to do is pay this financial advisor a little piece and give him half of my money, and he can go flip it, and I'll be straight.
He's not really doing any work.
Who?
Like the financial advisor. I mean, yeah, I guess he's doing a little bit of work, but the product on the field. That is why it's so important why they don't want to leave any money on the fucking table, because if they're leaving the money on the table, that matter of fact, at that point, they're really going up there to negotiate it and tell them, hey, pay this man. We're getting this because this much is going to him, and this is how much I have to get. So in the deal, I'm really working his money into my deal is what it is.
But think about it. If you're an agent, are you getting the best deal for your client, or are you getting the best deal for yourself?
In the case of Freddie Freeman, it was for the agent. So I think it varies. Like, yes, of course, they all want, like Rich Paul, for instance. I'm not going to speak too deep on it, but like Rich Paul with Colin, there's already a set amount, right? Like there was a set amount that he was going to make. But Rich also, because he's in all the NBA teams' pockets at this point, he knows what his value is and how much money that he would get. And this is the best deal. This is the best deal. And it's just like, the more money I make you, the more money I make.
But Rich is a little bit different because he's a real power broker. And we don't know, because there's rumblings that some of those teammates in Utah may be Lakers soon.
Yes.
What Rich is setting up.
Bro, they might not have anyone from the team last year on the team.
Dog, that's why I had that take, bro. Like,
Josh Allen's a tough motherfucker to bring back.
Yeah, that was a nasty stiff arm.
Yeah.
Remember what Rich Paul, how Rich Paul changed the Lakers before LeBron got there? Like, that was a 2-year move that he made.
Yeah, they were setting up to win the title 2 years later.
Scott gets credit for the tackle, but film gonna be nasty for him. He ain't gonna like that.
Who?
Scott for the Rams. That stiff arm he took. Like he tackled him, but now
nothing you can do about a 6'7" quarterback that runs probably a 4.6.
Bro, it's white Cam Newton. It's more accurate. It's better Cam Newton.
Cam Newton and Ben Roethlisberger having a baby.
Yeah. Can we call Zach Wilson a bust yet?
And we talked about this pre-production. No. Just because he's a rookie. I don't want to give up on him yet. Now, the injury aspect of it, very unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. It just seems like he's getting bad luck. Guy didn't even start all the games last year. I think that what it will come out as is he can salvage his career, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's necessarily that he's a bust. He just was clearly taken way too early.
You know, I can't call somebody a bust after year 2. After year 1, and he's hurt.
Go through a rookie contract before we can label you a bust. Like Geno Smith, even though he was drafted in the 3rd, or was it 2nd?
2nd or 3rd.
But remember, he was supposed to be some people thought he was top 5 pick. I mean, he lit it up in West Virginia.
Yeah, and then he was pissed that EJ Manuel went before him. But you know what? Geno's had a good career.
Geno's had a better career than EJ Manuel.
Well, EJ Manuel's calling. He's like on the ACC network.
His ass is he's getting chewed up. And he just completely ran over him. He did not go and try and make the tackle, bro. He let the contact come to him. Look at this.
And maybe, yeah, he
gave up 4 or 5 more yards because of it.
He has 2 picks, so he thinks he's done enough.
Well, I'm talking about 22.
Oh, I was talking about 2 for missing the damn tackle, ankle biting and missing.
Well, this is where, with that Rams defense, I mean, look, you got Aaron Donald. They still got Brockers, right? Well, never mind. And Isaiah McKenzie makes up for the fumble early, or the interception pass.
That drive just looked so smooth and effortless. Maybe they're not overrated.
Sun came back. They were down 10 points in the third quarter. They're about to win by 7, and they're headed to take on the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA Finals.
Which team?
The Connecticut Sun.
Oh, Dejanay Carrington's on that team.
I just bet on them because they were dogs, and I was like, well, why would Chicago go back to the championship this year? They're plus 165. I took the money on. So this Bills touchdown is kind of pissing me off because I need the Rams to cover. And a field goal makes it a 4-point game. That doesn't give me the cover.
Maybe Matthew Stafford comes down and scores one.
Hopefully he answers because we already got the first half under. Outside of that, that's all I need for my parlay.
You know what, though? You know where I think the Jets messed up with Zach Wilson, getting back to that one real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I think you don't lose your job if you take Justin Fields.
And the thing was that Justin Fields, to me, and what everybody saw, he went to now granted, Ohio State played like 5 or 6 games that year, COVID year. But he was still that guy the year before. He was the number 1 guy. He was rated higher than T-Law overall, and they both were in class. And there
are some people who still
Georgia wanted Fields over T-Law.
I'm aware because that we landed him. And there are people who still will put Justin Fields over Trevor Lawrence. I forgot who I was listening to, but last week they were saying like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is obviously the most talented person in the class.
Arm-wise.
Huh?
I think his arm is more talented.
Well, they said no, Trevor Lawrence isn't more talented than Justin Fields. Justin Fields was the most talented quarterback in the class. But it's 2 people I've listened to. Trent Dilfer is not a Trevor Lawrence truther. And Greg Cosell, not a Trevor Lawrence truther. 2 people who, when it comes to quarterback talk, I respect what they have to say, and I truly believe, and I really heed what they say, right?
You understand why. They give you the why, which is what's important. It's not like Skip Bayless just saying something. You know what I mean?
Or Nick Wright telling me that he loves Trevor Lawrence's neck. I don't care about his neck, okay?
His hand size.
Yeah.
There's a lot to him.
But Trent Dilfer talked about he's a half-field reader. At Cartersville High School, he read half the field. Clemson, he read half the field. He can't read the whole field. He sticks on receivers too long. So that doesn't allow him to get to option 2, option 3, because he's sticking on 1 too long. And I go, that makes sense. That tells me why he threw 12 touchdowns and 17 picks as a rookie.
Right.
Not saying that he can't recover from it, but I saw his high school team because I watched him multiple times in high school.
He's a hometown kid. He's
from my hometown. I wouldn't watch him. I watched him at Clemson again because he's a hometown kid. I will watch the bad games because he's from my hometown. He hasn't dealt with football adversity.
Well, right, because his first loss was like his first NFL start, he lost the national championship.
Well, no, he lost 2 games in high school.
It was his first regular season loss since his freshman year of high school or something.
Yeah, he lost, I think, 2 games in high school. The 2 years he won state 2 years. 2 years they didn't win it, so those 2 losses. In college, he lost 2, maybe 3 games.
I think it was 1. I thought it was only 1. They went undefeated the year that they won.
No, he lost at least 2 because he went undefeated. He played 3 years. They won it all 1 year.
Right. That's true. That is true.
So he lost like 4 games getting to the league, and
and then lost probably 4 out of his first 5 games in the NFL.
Well, he played for Herb.
Played for Herb and the Jaguars. Let's not forget, it's still the Jacksonville Jaguars.
But getting back to the Zach Wilson thing, it's like, hey, if I'm going to be wrong, I want to be wrong on the guy who's been highly touted, who has the body, the size, the arm, the athleticism, the smarts. Like Zach Wilson, Greg Cosell said, yeah, he has the best arm talent in that class. Best like throw of the football. But Zach Wilson did not play good football against good teams. Zach Wilson peaked in the COVID year. That's when he really popped up into people's minds. And only Chris Sims, who is a hot take artist, who says, I want to work in the front office. I don't spit out hot takes, but he spits out hot takes all the time that are not good. Was like, he's my number 1. Most people were like, Zach Wilson's your 3 or your 4. You know, some could say he's the 5. It just depends on how you feel and what you're looking for.
Right.
I would like a Mac Jones. I would take Mac Jones over Zach Wilson.
Agreed. And I thought that, you know, it wasn't because of where he went to school necessarily. It wasn't this, he went to BYU. He plays somewhat subpar talent or whatever. Because they were good. BYU was pretty good. They were 10-2, 10-3 team. They were always ranked. Like, you know, like they were, you know, they teetered between 17 and 25 the majority of the year.
Yeah, they play good ball there.
Tyler Algier, new Falcons running back, was his running back.
And linebacker and everything else there.
Yeah. Guy played a lot. And I just think that a thing with Zach Wilson is he's getting thrown into a team that this year added more talent. And I think that that's why we have to give him more time. That's why I can't call him a bust, because he's got more talent. Last year it was Corey Davis's first year, who kind of a bust himself.
Yeah, he got overdrafted.
Yeah, and it was such a head scratcher when he got drafted, because everybody was like, because he wasn't East Carolina. Where'd he go?
Nah, like middle.
It might have been like Middle Tennessee. Yeah, it was just something.
It was a directional school in like a Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan, or some shit like that. I'm looking it up right now.
West Michigan.
Yeah.
So he played in the MAC. I mean, and granted, West Michigan's coach is McElwain, so former Florida coach, right? But like,
hey,
no, he might have not even been there when he was there.
AB Part 2, or was AB Central Michigan?
AB was Central Michigan, but I think AB originally was committed to like Miami or Florida State or something. Ooh. And then like it was.
See, maybe Greg Jennings went to Western Michigan. Yeah, Greg Jennings went to Western Michigan.
Yeah, funny story too. This guy AB sitting in first class. So for the listeners, I went to New York yesterday, and Antonio Brown was on my flight. I don't know who the fuck Matt Stafford was throwing that to, but AB's on my flight, and I didn't notice him when I was walking in because I sat on the row behind him on the opposite side. So when I walked in, I wasn't really paying attention. He was wearing glasses anyways. I'm thinking it's just another nigga, basically. Because that's
flying out of Atlanta, that happens.
Yeah, well, I'm just like, it's just another nigga. And then when we're sitting there, he gets up a few times, and I look at his bag. I was like, okay, he's got like a Balenciaga, like this really big bag. This is like at least $500 to $7,500 bag. He's wearing Yeezy Balenciaga boots. And then it hit me. Of course, I looked at him in the face, and I was like, man, he kind of looks like AB. And then I hit the group. I was like, I swear AB's in front of me. Then he stood up. And I saw the God, whatever, and I was like, that definitely sounds like some shit he was saying. And like, I'm like, bro, it's Antonio Brown. Like, it's AB. So then when we get off the plane, at first I was going to record him, and, you know, I was just going to be like, is business always moving? And, you know, I knew he was going to respond if I did it. But instead, we're walking down the escalator together, and then I act surprised like I see him. So then I was like, is business still moving? And he's like, yes, sir. And I dapped him up. I was like, man, I'm a huge fan, whatever. I was like, bro, you literally arguably the best wide receiver of the 2010s. And, he's like, appreciate it, all this, that, and the third. And then I was like, man, we need the Falcons to pick you up. Because we're coming from Atlanta, right? And he's like, call up blank. And then He's like, man, he's like, it don't matter. He's like, God got me. He's like, so does Ye. I don't know why he threw Kanye in there.
We are all here to do what Falcons do. Look at that.
You know why he said Ye got him?
What he did.
You know why he said Ye got him?
Because he probably does.
Them checks keep coming.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Ye probably is putting him in a position to excel. And you can only get that by already being one of the best wide receivers. Really, you're a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
He is.
You're a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
And you saw the games where when he got the targets, the production didn't change.
Even at older with Brady, he was still cooking.
Yeah.
As a third option on that team.
Business was always booming.
Yeah.
You know,
it's very interesting to run into a guy like that. He was dancing on the plane. He had his headphones on. Like, bro, this nigga was literally dancing. I couldn't believe that he was doing it in the middle of a flight. Like,
well, he's probably just being true to himself because he knows people are watching him.
He's a nigga, man.
I watched him leave the football.
He's a Florida nigga at that. And at first I was gonna do this, but then I was like, nah. I was like, that's the God's plan. But then I was like, what's his other dance? It's this, right? It's like some shit in this.
I don't know.
It's something, right?
I don't keep up with
the young shit on dance.
Question for you though.
Yeah.
Can we go hang out on the ledge again?
Let's hang out on that ledge.
What if I told you that the 22-23 NFL season, we're going to see the return of the run game. We're going to see offenses that are carried by the run dominate the league. And I don't say this because I think it's, just a hot take or something that just to be different. But you can never get me off of believing that a run game and a good defense can win games. You know what I mean? And what a good defense looks like today is not what it looked like in 2002. I understand that. But if you have the formula of playing good defense in today's NFL and you can control the clock, and especially if you weave in good special teams game, you will win games. The Patriots won 10 games last year, made the playoffs. The year before they won 7 games with Cam Newton, who's now out of the league and will probably never take another snap in the NFL. It worked. And then I just went through the teams that I think are going to be powered by their run. Doesn't mean that they won't have electric passing games. Don't mean that they won't make big chunk plays with the passing game. But I think they're going to be powered by their run. You got the Rams. Sean McVay's offense is built off of the run. Yes, with Matthew Stafford, it's become more pass happy, but that offense works because of the threat of the run and the running backs that they have. San Francisco, enough said. Now they got a quarterback who can run. We're gonna see something crazy. Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh is going to win games this year, it's going to be because of Najee Harris and Mitchell Trubisky being creative back there. And
it's certainly a lot more mobile than Ben.
Right. There were some people who, coming out of high school, tried to get Mitchell Trubisky to convert to safety and not play quarterback. So that's the type of athlete that Mitchell Trubisky is. New England, if they win games, it's going to be because of that 3-headed running attack that they have. Baltimore. Yeah, tight end pass game run. Gus Edwards, what's my man's name? Ohio State. Damn, what's the running back's name from Ohio State? The good one for Baltimore.
J.K.
Dobbins, Lamar Jackson. Run. Cleveland, if there's any chance for Cleveland to be worth anything, before Deshaun Watson gets back, it's going to be Kareem Hunt and, more importantly, Nick Chubb toting that piggy. Because Jacoby Brissett ain't shit if he ain't got a solid run game. Yep. In Indy, Matt Ryan's going to have the best run game he's had since Michael the Burner Turner.
And you can argue better.
And I was going to say maybe better. Philly, similar to Baltimore, they're going to be creative with the run. They're going to make chunk plays in the passing game, but run base. Tennessee, they're going to run the ball. Green Bay, with the best quarterback in the league, they're still going to run the ball with A.J. Dillon. And
they're going to lean more on the run. This is going to be the most that they've leaned on the run. Eddie Lacy had a couple good years, but like this is going to be the most they've leaned on the run since Ahman Green.
Yeah.
And, Ahman Green was pretty fucking good with Brett Favre. Like,
yeah,
I think he stirred the drink, honestly. I mean, yeah, Donald Driver and Brett, of course, like they were a thing. Bubba Franks,
Yeah.
Man, I remember all these guys. I used to love playing, man, so much as a kid. Like, bro, I used to franchise. They only let you do 30 years. I'd go a whole 30 years in franchise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. By that point, I had switched over to like 5 different teams, and they were all in different cities.
In that same division, you're going to have Minnesota. Dalvin Cook is still the straw that stirs that drink. I don't care how good Kirk Cousins is
poised to finally kind of be in a lion's share role. I mean, they got the other Williams that was in Green Bay still, but
oh yeah, you're talking about the Lions. I don't even have the Lions on my list because I don't think they're going to be a good team. But you can throw the Lions in there. You got Arizona.
In order for Jared Goff to be successful, they're going to have to be able to run the ball.
You got Arizona.
The split. Well, I'm not a James Conner guy.
I'm not a James Conner guy either, but they run the ball in the red zone, and that Cliff doesn't run the ball as much as we'd like. Okay, I know that, but in key moments, the threat of that run makes their team what it is, and that's what I'm getting to. And then finally, Denver. Well, I got Dallas. If they're going to be anything, it's going to be Zeke and Tony Pollard. I think Zeke has a bounce back season because he's going to be healthy. And finally, we got Denver.
Hey,
Denver's going to be run first.
And let's not even. And this is why this was important because I was going to give you over under. So now I formulated what that over under is going to be.
Hey, can you carry for like a few minutes while I go pee?
Yeah, go ahead.
All
and
right.
that I'm glad that you brought up the running game, and I'm going to wait until he's back in order for me to actually talk fully on what it is because I'm going to present Big Baby with an over under for the season so that we can go back and look at it at the end of the season and see exactly if Lee's ledge is something that he gets pushed over or something that he hangs on to, like the cliffhanger man from PBS. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but you had the cliffhanger guy. He's like, can't hold on much longer. It's funny to me. But you look at the NFL and how it's went from a running league to a passing league. And that trend is showing with these staggering numbers over just the last 3 years alone that I just looked up on how many 1,000-yard rushers that we have. So let's look at 2021. You had 7,000-yard rushers. Jonathan Taylor being the overwhelming rushing leader with 1,800 yards, almost 500 more yards than Nick Chubb, who was second, who shares carries. Then you had Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, and Zeke Elliott. Now, these numbers are a little skewed because there's so many guys, especially in a position like that get hurt, right? It changes a lot. You get hurt, and it'll make those numbers change up a little bit. And I was just telling kind of the viewers how I'm going to come up with your over-under number. We're going to be able to look at it at the end of the season to see if, Lee's ledge is something that you're getting pushed off of or that you're just kind of standing there and you're looking. Or you turn it to the cliffhanger guy on PBS. You remember the guy can't hold on much. You know that guy?
Yeah.
And so 2021, there were 7 1,000-yard rushers.
Okay.
Jonathan
Give me
Taylor,
names.
Give
me some names.
Jonathan Taylor, who's the overwhelming favorite. I mean, who, by 500 yards beat out second place with 1,800 yards. Nick Chubb was second in the league while sharing carries. Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, and Zeke Elliott. Zeke had 1,000 yards last year. So 2021, it was 7. In 2020, it was 9 of them. Now, with the 2021 number 2, what we have to realize, Elijah Mitchell missed a lot of games. He would have been a 1,000-yard guy. Of course, Derrick Henry was a 1,000-yard guy. He almost had it anyways with 8 games.
Yeah, CMC.
There's a lot of guys. CMC, Aaron Jones is really a 1,000-yard guy. But 2020, there were 9 1,000-yard guys, with one of them being Lamar Jackson. So technically, quarterback in there. So 8 running backs. And then in 2019, take a guess how many 1,000-yard rushers we had.
12.
16. One of them being Lamar Jackson. So 15 running backs. So almost half the league. No, not almost. Half the league had 1,000-yard rusher. Even if one's a quarterback. So you go from 16 to 9 to 7. It's such an injury-prone position. But with 16, 9, and 7, it gave me a perfect number. Over under 11.5 1,000-yard rushers.
11.5. Give me 1 second because I'm going down. I'm looking at some stuff.
We're talking about basically, will a third of the league have 1,000-yard rushers?
Let's see. I think so. I'm going through my list.
You're gonna take the over.
I'm probably taking the over.
Okay.
You know what? Absolutely.
Health is gonna be such a big thing.
Yes, I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over because I'm gonna tell you who my guys are too. That's what's taking me so long.
I know this guy Judas pissed.
Why you say that?
He's got 20 points from 3 different players. He's screwed already.
Well,
and Josh Allen being one, literally his highest scoring player, and you've only got 20 total between 3 guys.
Does Jew really care about fantasy?
The way that he talks about it, you would think he does.
Well, I see the way he drafts.
Have his results proven that he does? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like I see his draft and I go.
Actually, Boyd's got to be really happy with his production. He's got 2 wide. Still with the quarter left to play. He's got 2 wide receivers that've got double digits. They're the only 2 touchdowns of the night. Well, not the only 2, but they're 2 of the 3 touchdowns of the night.
Okay, I'm gonna stay away from that one. Okay, you want to hear my over?
Yeah.
I got Elijah Mitchell.
Okay.
Najee Harris.
Okay.
Joe Mixon.
Okay.
Damian Harris.
New England.
Yeah. He was at 920 last year.
I feel like, but New England is they're like a 3 running back. I mean, I know that James White retired, but Ramondre Stevens is going to get the ball. They're going to give him the ball.
I'm jumping out on the ledge here. Okay. I got Baltimore, J.K. Dobbins, and Lamar barely sneaks in. He gets less than he gets 1,000. Yes, Lamar gets less than 1,000. He gets more than 1,000, but less than 1,100.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say Antonio Gibson because his quarterback is Carson Wentz, and his coach is Ron Rivera.
Brian Robinson got shot in the leg, so he'll get a good little portion of the season. He's gonna be a workhorse.
Nick Chubb because there's no Deshaun.
Every year.
I'm going to bet on CMC's health despite I didn't do it in the fantasy draft.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor.
Would you have taken him one?
Huh?
Would you have taken him one if you knew that you got a guaranteed healthy season? Over Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry?
No, because I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be in winning games and Matt Ryan's going to throw the ball in the flats.
Well, and I think that Matt Ryan's going to, because the run game is going to work so well, they're going to have, even without the threats at receiver, they're going to have to be honest. They're going to be
Matt Ryan with time will put the ball in the right place. So yeah, we got Jonathan Taylor. I think Miles Sanders, if he's healthy.
He's never had a 1,000-yard year.
I know. I'm going on a limb here.
Jalen Hurts isn't a 1,000-yard guy either, but
no, he's the 800 guy.
I feel literally maybe a little bit, especially if he has the season that you and Mr. Holsey believe that he's going to have. I would almost be curious to say 3,500 passing, 1,000 rushing for him, because he's going to have probably 2 100-yard games, a couple 80-yard, 70-yard type games, and then that stuff will add up.
Hey, here's one. Here's my weakest limb. Saquon.
I'm not mad at it if he's healthy.
King Henry, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to root against him. Oh, my God, Josh. Dang, boink. Just threw a piss missile.
For a touchdown?
No.
Are you playing Boink?
No, I'm playing Wayne. I got Dalvin going for 1,000. And then I got Zeke going for
Whoa, they just
1,000.
turned the game off.
Huh?
They just turned my game off.
Oh, that sucks.
They got breaking news. 2
Breaking.
Cobb County deputies killed, standoff underway in Marietta.
How many deputies?
2 killed, standoff underway.
Oh, yeah, you don't care about that right now. You don't even live in Marietta.
No, not really. Yeah, I mean, gosh, we could hear about that later.
I got Zeke going for 1,000 because I think Zeke's back.
If the Rams don't stop them here, I'm not covering.
You're right. And then I got Javonte Williams. Because they're going to run the piss out of the ball.
I'm fine with that. You said Alvin Kamara, right?
I did not say Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't know what that offense is going to look like. I'm afraid of it.
Jameis needs a running game to be successful.
He does. And
anyone that thinks the Saints are a playoff team.
Yo, you got the game back?
Yeah, it's back.
J. Ram and Stephon Diggs, this game they're playing is funny.
I love it, though.
I do, too.
Oh, wow. So, all right. So, the Cobb County deputies were killed while serving a warrant.
Hey, man, Cobb County ain't nothing to play with.
I really need to get a stop here. Josh Allen really should have just ran that shit in.
Yeah. Like you about to do right now. I don't understand why Bobby Wagner bit on that pump fake. He has to know where the line of scrimmage is. Josh Allen playing with him. He playing with him with the celebration. Maybe they're not overrated. Shit.
I need the Rams to come down and score a touchdown, man. They got to get this thing tied.
Yeah.
Would you like that a lot?
Is Josh Allen his quarterback?
Yeah. Considering he's thrown 2 interceptions. Yeah, he got it. Well, yeah, it was obvious he got it, but.
Let me see where we at, man. Where we at? You want to? You know what? We'll leave that at the last ledge. 2 hours. We got to talk some college football, man.
We do. And then I haven't even put my picks together, too. So while we're talking that, I'll at least be able to put my picks together.
Go ahead and put your picks together, and I'll do a soliloquy on college football expansion coming soon.
Give it to us.
So last week, the college football decided they're going to go to a 12-team playoff. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey was asking for this a long time ago because he was telling the rest of those peons in college football, like, hey, man, we keep doing this 4-teamer. I'm getting 2 in. If y'all guys really want to bite at this apple, y'all should probably want to go to this 12-team so then I can put, 4 teams in and have a better chance of winning national championship because we just keep winning them over here in SEC land. And there were some commissioners who weren't with that. They had this alliance talk. They were pissed off at Sankey for grabbing Texas and OU. And, that's kind of the way it goes. People want to be great and they want to join the winning team. That's what happens. And then, some things change. USC leaves the Pac-12. UCLA leaves the Pac-12. There's conversations entertaining Oregon leaving the Pac-12. And all of a sudden, these same commissioners who didn't want a 12-team playoff decide they want a 12-team playoff 12 months later. And lo and behold, they vote, and now we have a 12-team playoff coming. Now, if you guys know me, you know that I've been against expansion. I wasn't the biggest fan of the BCS, but I'm like, you know what? They get it right. They crown the proper national champion every year. And then we went to 4. I say, you know what? We still crown the proper national champion every year. Give Michigan a chance. Or Ohio State should have got in last year. Well, they didn't beat Michigan, and then Michigan got curb stomped by Georgia. Or Cincinnati, they've been good back-to-back years. They got NFL players. Give them a chance. Yeah, they get curb stomped by Alabama, and that's what happens, because at the end of the day, even if you get two teams wrong, as long as you get one right, we crown the proper national champion. And up until this morning, I was listening to Joel Klatt while I was on my drive back from New Orleans. And until I heard his perspective, I was just anti-expansion because I think it's more games. I think it complicates the academic schedule and calendar. And I go, how do we make this thing work so that we're playing more games, but it's actually worth it? And we go to 12. And the big thing he said is it becomes more inclusive and you have more games that matter. You have less teams who don't care about the end of the season. But more importantly, with this 12-team playoff, we're going to see teams schedule tougher opponents. We're going to see less lollipop games, and we're going to see some more, Hershey's chocolate, little Reese's cups here. You know what I mean? The good stuff. Because now you're not paralyzed by losing. You can lose a game to a good team. Maybe you can drop two and maybe even a third game if you lose close games to teams that are qualified to make the playoff. And that's what's going to happen with this 12-team playoff. So let's paint out what the 12-team format looks like. Because it's important to understand what the 12-team format looks like. There's a possibility that it comes out before the 2026 season, but that's the first time that it will be allowed. So the four highest ranked conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4, each receiving a first round bye. Teams seeded 5 through 12 will play each other in the first round on either the second or third weekend of December. The quarterfinals and semifinals will be played in bowl games on a rotating basis. And the championship games will be at a neutral site under the current 4-team format. And you look at it, you go, okay, so we're not just rewarding the Power 5 conference champions and let somebody who wins a sorry Pac-12 or a terrible Big 12 or a disgusting ACC like last year without a top-end Clemson team just getting an automatic bid into the bye. I like that. So the rankings still matter. But at the same time, the conference championship still matters. And if you think about last year, maybe Georgia doesn't even win the national championship if we go to the 12-team format because they didn't win the SEC. They don't get the bye. They got to play an extra 2 games. Or an extra game, but again, a game that they wouldn't have to play in a 4-team format. So you go, okay. Now, are there going to be some issues when we have a like a Georgia Alabama last year, a high-end team who doesn't win their conference championship, being seated below a team who gets a bye, who gets because they won a weaker conference and they're ranked lower, but they are conference champion? Sure. But with the 4 buys, we're not rewarding all 5 power conferences because guess what? The Pac-12 after USC leave is not a power conference. Oh, Stafford just threw another pick.
Finish.
And even with USC leaving, I don't know how much of a power conference they are. Is the Big 12 a power conference without Texas and OU? You got OK State, maybe. Is the ACC a power conference? They have Clemson, who doesn't have a quarterback starting for them right now. So I've come to accept that college football, as I loved it, as I grew to watch it, is not what it was. It's not going to be that anymore. It's no longer going to be a regional product that at the end we get these national matchups that we love. It's going to be a national product that makes money, a lot of money, better games, more national fan attraction, but I think it's going to lose some of the regional Paul Feinbaum callers appeal. Hey, Paul, this is Bill from Mobile, Alabama, and I just want to say, roll fucking tide. Death to the War Eagles. We're going to lose that aspect of college football, but we're going to get USC versus UGA week 4.
Well, I think the thing that makes the college football expansion more brilliant is it adds more intrigue because even if the same teams end up being those Final Four, they got to go through a little bit more to get there. And we know it's any given, in this case, Saturday. Any given Saturday, at the end of the day, things happen all the time. Texas A&M beat Alabama. Now, granted, game was at Texas A&M, which in college football, home field means a lot. If these games are going to be played on neutral fields, I think that in the early model, the way they talked about is like those first rounds would be home games, which
more first round is
at the school.
The first round is home game or neutral site selected by the home team. So say if Georgia's the 5 seed, right?
They might say that they want to play either in Athens or Mercedes.
Or Mercedes, yeah. Alabama could say, you know what? We want to go Jerry World. That's our home stadium. Right. So
Clemson could say we want to be at Bank of America.
No, they won't.
Yeah, Death Valley's kind of the other Death Valley.
But here's the thing I really like most about it is I think we get better non-conference scheduling in the regular season because you're not going to be petrified to lose a game. Like we could get a Georgia Penn State game.
In Happy Valley or between the hedges?
A home and home over 4 years.
Okay.
We could get
Georgia USC.
Yeah, Georgia USC. We can get Georgia Tech is already going to be in. We can get Georgia OK State. And I think this allows the UCF. Yeah, Georgia Ohio State. I think we get the UCFs of the world. We get them the opportunity to get their brains blown out. So when they start yelling, we deserve to be there.
Because we went undefeated twice, just like Cincinnati did kind of last year. They're like, well, we went undefeated the year before.
And lost to Georgia.
With Georgia benching a lot of guys that were going to the league that just sat out the game.
And you guess what? You get less guys sitting out because they're playing for more. And you got those bowl games become relevant again because no one gives a damn about the Sugar Bowl if it's not a college football playoff qualifier. The New Year's Six bowls have kind of lost their luster, so it brings back the luster. So I get it. You know what? I'm sold on expansion because the way of player empowerment, and it's not about playing the game because you love it. It's about playing the game to get paid, which I don't knock players for doing that. But you lose something. Relevant games stop mattering. Didn't Ohio State have receivers playing corner against Utah in the Rose Bowl that they didn't care about?
Yeah. And Alabama did it too against Utah in the Sugar Bowl that one year.
Well, Alabama also, that's a touchdown. It's over, son. Oh, yeah, and Stephon talking crazy to Jalen. Oh, and he did the dunked on your head shit to Jalen. He got Jalen getting cooked. Jalen, yeah, look up there, man. You got cooked, son. The pills might be for real.
Well, the real question is, gosh, you know what? We knew that this was fair weather.
Oh yeah, you were beat. You were beat, Jay.
The fans, and so
what was Jalen doing?
I'm mad. I'm mad because I did like the Bills to win the game, but I felt like Rams plus 3.5 was just it was the safest bet. It felt like a field goal game.
Same. It's a dog walking.
Yeah.
But you remember that one year the Patriots got their ass kicked by Kansas City opening week after winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
On to Cincinnati.
And that was a Monday night game.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to figure out what coverage they were in, though, because if you're watching that, was Jalen cheating with his eyes in the backfield because he saw Josh rolling? Because it's not like Josh had a Teddy Bridgewater arm where he would just not run with him. But
I think Goodell's about to make the call.
That's the one thing we miss when watching football is that you don't really know what guy they're supposed to do ever. You can assume, but you don't know what play was called. You don't know what their checks are. And you could be evaluating something totally wrong. Because even with the PFF grades, people think that's gospel, but that's way more of cookie cutter what you're supposed to do, given this offense, given this defense, maybe a little bit of inside information, but how much true inside information are those guys getting at Pro Football Focus? Because do the coaches really trust them?
I'm not an analytics guy. I'm not one of those guys. I think that they have meaning, but I don't think that they determine anything. It just what does it really tell? I mean,
they don't have context.
Yeah, it doesn't really say much, and so
like the analytics that matter is like, what does this quarterback do on third and short when being blitzed, right? Those are some very specific analytics that can paint a picture to me that contextualize something. But the analytics that are often used on
how
television,
often are they going to be in third and short? Who's the opponent? Like, what's the circumstance? What point in the game is it? Like,
yeah, right.
It's like going to a math class, right? I think we talked about how education, what we think is important for high school and stuff. It's like going to a calculus class and you're learning about a formula that you'll never use in life. I'm sure that the formula is right, and I'm sure that there is use for it. But what difference does it make if the situation doesn't fit mine? So it's like pointless information. It's information and it's correct. But what does it mean?
Bro, listen to this. I was talking to my little cousin yesterday. She's a freshman at Tulane. She's a business major. She's a business pre-law major, right? And we're talking about classes. And she told me she was in calculus. And I said, why are you in calculus? It's a requirement for our business degree here. I go, but you want to be a lawyer. And even if you didn't want to be a lawyer, you're doing business. You don't need no fucking calculus. Did you take calc?
Yeah.
They made y'all take calculus? You took business calculus though, didn't you?
Yeah. At Morehouse, yeah. Business cal.
I think she's taking cal.
It's a requirement. Now it's still think about it, all business cal is cal, but put into a business like word equation.
Question. Have you used it in your business life?
Subliminally.
Okay.
I don't think it directly works that way, but there are situations where, am I using a formula? No. You just got to know basic math in reality. But can you make it into a where I need a certain amount of profit margin with X amount of profit markup on each employee? How many employees do I need at this? Like, it works itself out to where it can be used, but am I using it directly? No.
Is that how calculus is? That calculus, bro? I didn't take any calculus classes.
Well, I'm saying that's how it would be with business cal.
Oh, wait, no, because I'm thinking like what you're saying in business. I'm thinking of that. I'm like, isn't that like, it's not basic math, but it's just what do you have and what do you want?
Right. Exactly. and if this is inventory, when do I need to re-up on inventory based on the amount of customers and what I'm selling or whatever? Like when that would be how it would be subliminally used.
And that's more process analytics than that's. We're nerding out on other shit.
With the
Speaking of
football
which,
game on, but that's because it's so unentertaining. Can we chalk this up to? I don't want to say Super Bowl hangover, but just sloppy.
No, here's what it is.
2 big plays have blown this game open.
Sean McVay gets all this credit for not using the preseason. And I've heard far too many high-end Hall of Fame players say, I needed the preseason. I needed a tune-up game.
Wow.
I bet you
don't have I'm sorry. I know you don't have a TV up. It's nothing but Bills fans in there. And I guess somebody ran onto the field.
Oh, yeah, it's loud. McDermott still ain't smiling. But no, Andy Reid, the Kansas City Chiefs, they played in the preseason.
So did the Bills. Josh Allen threw he did one drive. They took him out. He scored a touchdown.
Brady played in the preseason. Belichick played the hell out of Mac Jones in the preseason.
Matt Ryan played in the preseason.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey over there looking sad as hell because this is the first time he's played real football since the Super Bowl. And I don't think the Rams are done. I think they'll be fine. I think if they see Buffalo again, it's a totally different game.
Well, guess what? They get their get-right game next week. They got extended days rest, so they get to get the Atlanta Falcons. That should work out. It should, theoretically, it should work out for them to where Marcus Mariota's on his back all day. And look, let me tell you.
Hey, he on his back more than a $2 hooker?
Boy. That's the good part for them. They get a bounce back game at home against a team that they, for all intents and purposes, they already have week 2 lines up. They should beat them by 2 touchdowns. They should. Now, Falcons win week 1. Let's say they win Sunday. That line will probably drop to 12.5, 11.5 or something. Just because
I would pound the Rams.
I would too, and I will.
But man,
Tyler Higbee. So are they going to punt?
I love this. I wouldn't
even punt.
There's no cover. There's no cover here. You know what I mean? Like, why not? I absolutely love this. Stop him. Don't get there. He got it. I just love this so much because I'm so tired of not playing football being rewarded. This whole, you can't play in the preseason. You can't practice them too hard. Dog, you don't get good at football if you don't play fucking football. This ain't basketball where you can go to UCLA, go to that pro-am and get legitimate reps in during the offseason.
I'm worried about Drake London too, because Drake London, for all intents and purposes, hasn't played a football game since October. He had the one catch in preseason against Detroit, and that was it. Didn't play the rest. And I think he actually got injured was the thing, but like, still, it just.
I would have drafted Jameson Williams hurt ass anyway. We already got a big receiver in our tight end Kyle Pitts. Give me somebody going to take the motherfucking top off. Drake London didn't run a 40 on purpose.
I took the top off. It's dripping like hot sauce.
Oh, I thought you said I took the top off of my Maybach.
Nah, that's Gunner's like, I took the top off.
You know I don't listen to Gunner. You know I don't listen to Gunner.
Me neither. But
I think he's one of the worst rappers ever.
I see people put up clips from the club. That's like a
pick.
So is that 4?
Boy, he look like Matty in Detroit, don't he?
You gonna run back? No. Well, he makes the tackle.
Where's Jared Goff when you need him?
Is that 4 picks? Who's on? I think he's Juice's backup too. Let me see.
I think I'm seeing 2 right now, but I don't know if ESPN's updated it.
Boy, that Bills defense is something else.
Yeah, no, it's 3. I mean, Cooper Kupp had 11 catches for 92 yards. I guess maybe Odell Beckham and Robert Woods mattered.
Odell for sure. I guess because they were both technically pseudo 2s.
Jalen Ramsey said Odell Beckham's top 5, and he practiced against him every
I think
week.
that when he's healthy, he really is.
I do too.
I think when he's healthy, he's cut from the same cloth. And I'm not saying because they all just went to the same school, but Jamar Chase and Justin, bro, they're the same type of now. Because Jarvis, the LSU guy too, but Jarvis is such a screen receiver. Like
Jarvis is gonna make a lot of money in the league.
Open field and get yak.
Jarvis is gonna make a lot of money in the league, and he'll probably play on 2 or 3 more teams. You like Jarvis, you never love him.
No, you don't.
You're always looking for his replacement, but you're happy that you got him. I.e. Miami, i.e. Cleveland, and we'll see the same thing in New Orleans. It'll just take an extra season because he's from there.
Josh Allen is one happy motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is going to be great for them. Like, it's proving everybody right why we all have picked them to go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, it is.
You know the Rams are a good team. Even with bullshit fans, they're still a good team.
Look at Stephon Mall. And she going to be at Jerry World on Sunday. You know, she living real good right now.
Oh, man, you got to love it, bro. But that's the dream as a parent.
Yeah.
You get 2 kids, man. They made it to the league.
Bro, they played against each other in the Pro Bowl. Like, come on, man.
That's a proud parent.
Like, no matter what she did wrong, she did it right.
Exactly. And
that's why I hate when
whatever she did to not only, I guess, they wanted to play football, obviously, but pushing them and really believing in them and
or fucking the right person.
That too, having the fumble.
Yeah. That's why I hate it. Oh, Rams got it back. That's why I hate the LeVar Ball like bashing. Cause you're like, this man is doing better than a lot of good parents.
He's got 2 sons that made it to the league, but 3 in general still that I'm sure that
LiAngelo's rich.
And I'm sure that he plays overseas.
He played in the summer league this year. He's been in the G League.
G League, yeah.
He probably has a management job with his brothers during the season, to where he gets. Come on, man.
They get him paid too.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, he's all right. He
holds the weed.
Hey, no, Cooper Manning ain't complaining either.
Cooper Manning's on a TV show now with Peyton. The Capital One like college trivia show or some shit. Like it's like college game there. I don't know what it is.
Cooper always had a spot on the Fox show. He would always do a segment, kind of like Rob Riggle.
You know, I
love Fox, man. I love Fox.
I was a church guy
this year because Troy and Joe are on Monday night. And
Look,
I don't know how I feel about it's Greg Olson and it's not Derek Johnson.
It's not Gus because Gus is the number 1 college guy.
Yeah, it's not. It isn't Gus, and I have to correct myself because I think I had said that. It's I think it's Burkhardt, Kevin Burkhardt.
Yeah, I
think that's who it is. But for what it's worth, Greg isn't bad at what he does. I don't think Greg's bad. They were grooming him similar to how Draymond's been getting groomed for TNT. They've been grooming Greg because when he was hurt, he would call a game. When he was on bye week, he would call a game. So, like, they've been grooming him for it. But, of course, he's just going to get replaced by Tom Brady probably next year. So,
but the thing about Greg is Greg doesn't have the reps yet. And, honestly, I think Mark Schlereth might be the best guy Fox has.
I like Schlereth. He's got such an interesting take. You got to think about it. He's an O-lineman. And so, like –
And he actually teaches us stuff that we don't get every game. Like most of these offensive, especially the quarterbacks, they don't teach us shit.
Well, Romo's calling out plays.
He's calling out plays and he's losing his fastball. But you know what Romo can't do? He can't entertain you during a bad game. You know what I love? When Peyton and Eli are drunk and that Monday night game's terrible and they're just going.
Yeah. This is tough, man.
Now, this is tough right here.
I really wish if it was a 2-touchdown game, I'd have some faith. But
I'm trying
2 big throws.
I'm trying to figure out where Cam Akers is.
I swear to God, he hadn't taken a snap.
Yeah, I saw nothing online.
I promise. Matter of fact, let me type him in on fantasy and see if there's any intel.
Like, I mean, there's nothing going on here. And right now, the Rams are just running the ball because they don't trust Matt Stafford with the ball. He's either going to throw a pick or get sacked. Cooper Kupp is out here getting 2016 Devin Booker numbers right now. I mean, these are all good stats, bad teams.
Something to where he's still top 5 in the league after week 1?
Oh yeah, he's gonna have the counting stats. He got the touchdown. He has over 100 yards now. But let me tell you, Cooper Kupp did not impact this game at all.
Okay, so check this out. Cam Akers has 3 carries for 0 yards tonight.
I thought I saw him once because he's wearing like number 3 now.
Monday. That's the last. Let me get it on Twitter because Twitter is going to be a little bit faster.
You know, Twitter's the best news source we have here in America.
It really is, and it's crazy because it's so up to date. Let me see, Cam Akers, because this is interesting. I mean, they're basically playing with a backup running back. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it. Barstool posted it. Fantasy owners looking for Cam Akers.
You know, just from watching this game, and I'm going to go back and watch the replay tomorrow, and I'm going to watch the all 22, be a nerd. But I'm looking at Cooper Kupp has 14 targets. Tyler Higbee has 10 targets and 5 receptions. That's fucking terrible. Henderson has 5 targets, but he's a running back. Strongawek, whoever the hell that is, he has 4 targets.
Damn.
Allen Robinson has 1 target.
Somebody said Queen Elizabeth and Cam Akers have the same number of yards today.
Maybe she has a little bit more because they actually moved her body.
You're a dick, man. You're a dick. Somebody said Cam Akers is going to be commentating an 11 a.m. Syracuse-Boston College game on ESPN2 in 2 years.
Hey, you know what? RG3 is pretty good. Hey, let's talk about that. RG3 being pretty good. And
did you hear what he said about the Michigan quarterback that scored? His last name is like Orgy. And
I heard it in real time.
He busts through the hole. He said he gets to the end zone, and he said, and then we have an orgy.
I heard it in real time.
It was great. It was honestly a great call, only because he had been waiting to get it off, and then like the guy's name is Orgy, so it's like he didn't say anything wrong. That's
he did. But I with Pat, what is Pat's name? The fucking punter, Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee coming to game day and Robert Griffin getting in that booth and Herb Street going to Amazon. I know Herb Street's still there during the big games. ABC is looking to pivot because I don't care what nobody says. ABC doesn't like Herbie going to Amazon.
They don't. But you got to remember, man, they just backed up the Brinks truck for Troy and Joe. Now, like I said, the real question is, obviously, they're not going to call anything college. But that's why they bought, like you said, that's why McAfee. They like the edgy ass guy.
Because they're trying to get rid of Lee Corso.
Well, like we said, him and Dick were guys where I said, man, when are these guys just going to call it a day? Like their time has passed.
Hey, look, if ESPN hires Mark Titus and Tate Frazier, it's over with for Dickie V. Because they're the edgy college guys.
If they were smart, if ESPN was smart, they would throw the bag just because they already do NCAA during the tournament. They would try and poach one of the guys from TNT, not named Shaq.
But they can't be. They won't because they won't throw the bag and they don't have to.
They could.
I
feel like they could poach. Like Barkley clearly is willing to listen because he was willing to listen for Live Golf.
But have you heard Charles Barkley talk about working at ESPN?
No.
I'm gonna find it.
He hates the 4-letter network.
I want Chuck to tell you why he won't work for ESPN. I won't do it justice by trying to.
Ernie's obviously the TNT staple, and then Kenny the thing with Kenny is Kenny always is getting interviewed for GM jobs. So he clearly, if he was interested in moving, he's more interested in actually working for a team.
Here we go.
Y'all are fixing to watch a live TV show.
I'm sorry, America. We
called
made y'all-
Inside the NBA. It's
We made y'all
presented by
stay up for that
Kia.
beat down.
And we're live here at Studio J in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson, there's Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith,
Ernie,
Charles.
each other.
No handshakes before or after the game or
Who
any of
acknowledge
that
people
stuff.
they don't like, Ernie?
122.
I only.
Wait, why wouldn't you go to ESPN? I don't wait. Why wouldn't you go to ESPN?
Did that go work me like a dog and
But that's what I said.
Things that happen.
What'd you say?
But that's what I just said about Troy and Joe. Joe will call baseball games.
You, ESPN radio, and then come up with that little puny
Yeah,
trick.
nothing.
You wake up.
ESPN
You
Deportes.
I'm telling you.
Nothing good happens after 1:15 in the morning.
ESPN Deportes. They have me on ESPN Deportes say, muy bien, gracias. Mama Chacha, Emelito.
Hey, you have been working on it, haven't you? Thank you, Rosetta Stone. All right.
Oh yeah, some more garbage time stuff for Cooper. Great for the fantasy guys. Great for the stat count at the end of the year.
Well, if he didn't lose his foot, that was 6.
You know, I think Matt Ryan.
And Matt Stafford's going to reward him by getting him in the end zone.
Matt Stafford likes his wide receivers. Is Allen Robinson not getting open?
You want to know what it is? Allen Robinson just isn't as good as Odell Beckham. And let me tell you, a game like this, I hate to say it, it's the first game of the season. I don't want to overreact, but game like this is where we see Odell Beckham
Get signed.
Yep. We see him get his contract before Lamar.
These are the type of games that get people like Josh Gordon paid. He already got signed by Tennessee.
Well, think about it. The number 2 wide receiver tonight is probably the other white guy.
Yes. Well, it's Higbee. Higbee has like 12 targets.
One, Higbee's a white tight end, right? So,
Yeah.
These guys, just straight white guys tonight have been dominating the ball for the Rams. And maybe that's why they're not winning.
I didn't say that, but that's what I'm saying.
I did. I said it.
I mean, no Cam Akers. Ball's going to Cooper Kupp.
Well, that's weird. It's just weird.
It's like Matthew Stafford just got sacked because he stared down Cooper Kupp and he has 2 linemen behind him on the ground. And one looks hurt.
I mean, look, no, and this is what I'm saying. The Bills have the best defense in the NFL, and they added fucking
he was covered.
Oh, they're disrespectful too. I saw somebody on the sideline had the number 3 for the Rams.
Well, he'll lose that when OBJ comes back.
Can you change your number in the middle of the season?
Yeah, he'll get cut.
Right. It'll be a guy that gets cut.
Tell you what, boy, Matt.
7
I wonder what
sacks,
Skip Bayless is
3
tweeting right
picks.
now. I'm not gonna lie to
7
you.
sacks, 3 picks.
I
I think a forced fumble as well.
Hey, so after this, we're gonna just say Georgia mollywopped Oregon, then we'll get to the picks because there's only one game that matters this week: Texas,
Alabama. That's on my sheet.
And I mean, there's another game amongst ranked opponents, but it's like BYU and somebody on the back
Baylor.
end.
Another game that's in my picks.
Who?
Baylor.
Bada
I like
bing.
Dave Aranda, man. I think that guy can coach.
BYU. Oh, you talking about Baylor or BYU?
Baylor. Dave Aranda. Hey, man, Baylor won the Big 12 and the Sugar Bowl in this man's second season a year after winning only 3 games.
Baylor's a good program.
And he's such a cocky son of a bitch. He cut the guy that was his quarterback last year and went with somebody else.
Hey,
So clearly he's a talent evaluator. And he said he's better than you. And he told him right after spring practice, he said he's going to start. He didn't drag it out to camp. He told him after spring practice, he's going to be the starter. He's better than you. You're more than welcome to transfer if you want. we would love to keep you on the team, but he's going to start.
Hey, you want to hear some Skip Bayless
Another
tweets?
one. No, it's almost another one.
You want to hear some Skip Bayless tweets?
Yeah. What's he saying?
Are the Rams so confident Odell will re-sign with them because he lives in and wants to play in Hollywood that they're willing to risk waiting until he's completely healthy in November? Shocking they haven't already locked him up. His stock just went up with A-Rob's no-show. AB stock might be going up.
Or is it just Matt Stafford not throwing him the ball? I mean, one target. I mean, I get it. Maybe he's not getting the separation, but like, I don't know. He's what? Al Robinson 6'3", 6'4". Pretty tall.
Oh, here he goes. He gets one now.
Was it a touchdown?
No, the poorly thrown ball, and he wasn't open.
It was a jump. It was a poorly thrown ball, but it was a jump ball.
Yeah, but Matt Stafford is starting to look like a lion again. The no-look magic has vanished.
They got the
J. Ram burned again. Aaron Donald's going to miss Von Miller. Oh, Lil Wayne going to be on Undisputed tomorrow. Last one. Let's see. Somewhere Bill Belichick has to be thinking, oh, bleep.
He was thinking that regardless. I mean, this game just reaffirms Buffalo's status as the honcho of the AFC and possibly the league. Let me see what their schedule looks like real quick, just to see who they have to play next week. They get Tennessee on a Monday night, home opener. They should win.
Yeah.
But Derrick Henry is also better than Darnell Henderson, or Darrell Henderson. So
coming off that list, Frank.
And then they got an early game in Miami, which remains to be seen how good they're going to be, but certainly will be a test. Then they go to Baltimore. So 3 of their first 4 games are on the road.
They could lose.
And then their next road game after those 3 of those first 4. So really 4 of their first 6 games on the road. And those road teams are L.A., Miami, Baltimore, and Kansas City.
So they could be 3-3 after 6. It'd be a really good team.
Well, the Kansas City game is going to be the monkey off the bat. Even though they beat them in the regular season last year, I think that they beat them at Arrowhead because it was a weird game. They had like thunderstorms or something that like delayed it. But it's still, for them, that is still the hurdle, ultimately. Regardless of if they're better, like that is a game that they still have to flex their muscle on them and tell them, we're better than you, and then we're not even going to see your ass this year in fucking January.
I got to see what
– and better yet, if we do see your ass, you're coming to Buffalo.
I got to see what Kansas City looks like. Just like we had to see what Oregon looks like because let me tell you, not good.
Not good at all.
49-3, not good.
But like I said, do we chalk that up to Oregon not being good, or do we chalk that up to Kirby turning boys to men?
I'm gonna go with Kirby turning boys to men. If we're gonna give if we're gonna say that Mario Cristobal is turning around or Miami, then we got to say that he had some boys up there at Oregon who stayed.
They scored 70 against Bethune-Cookman.
Huh?
Miami, they scored 70 against Bethune-Cookman.
Give a fuck. Give a fuck about you scoring 70 against Bethune-Cookman. They barely got accreditation. You down there beating them by 7. It's gonna put 70 on them, But
Mary McLeod Bethune would not have been very happy about that game.
You know what? She did her job a long time ago. So whatever happens in the name of Mary McLeod Bethune-Cookman, Mary McLeod Bethune.
I don't even know what the Cookman part's for.
I don't either. Probably some random nigga they added to the shits.
Yeah, just so we can get a guy on there, right?
And we're not going to look it up to see because it doesn't matter because, honestly, there's only one HBCU that matters as far as I'm concerned.
3 well, yes. 2.
2, yeah. Morehouse.
Don't leave our sisters out there. Yeah, don't leave our sisters out
there. And hey.
Typical sexist Morehouse elitist.
Hey, we still got love for Howard and Hampton, too.
Howard, Hampton, and FAMU. We'll throw FAMU in too.
What about our actual sisters? That one college whose name I can't think of.
It's in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Funny too. I met a chick from there.
Benedict. No.
Yep.
Is
Bennett.
it Benedict? No, it's not Benedict.
It's Bennett. It's Bennett College.
Bennett. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Von Miller, 2 sacks. Diggs, 8 catches, 122 a touch. Outside of the picks, I mean, Josh Allen looked good.
Yeah, he looked good in the second half.
4 touchdowns, 350 total.
Yeah. Okay, Jew. All right. Yeah, so we beat the hell out of Oregon. Sorry, Dan Lanning. You maybe should have kept your coordinator job for another year and got a better head coaching job. Or maybe you turn around maybe you keep that thing going and you just win the terrible Pac-12 for the next few years. You just got boat raced by Georgia.
If the AD and the president at Georgia Tech lighten up, I mean, Georgia Tech will be a perfect job for somebody. But
if Georgia Tech,
like Urban Meyer could go to Georgia Tech and he'd rank.
If they would let Georgia Tech just say, hey, we're giving academic waivers to our football players, and we're going to do what Florida State did and what UNC did. We're going to create a major.
Operations. Are they not set up to like succeed if they really wanted to?
I've always said Georgia State should be the school that does it.
I don't know if they're in the Sun Belt though. I mean,
well, yeah, I feel like they say, hey, Luda.
They've grown quickly over the last 5 years.
No, and I say it's like a 15-year move, right? Like you overpay for the coach.
A coordinator,
join the ACC.
A coordinator that's like young but good, and you make him the highest paid coach in the conference.
Or you get the solid coach who fucked up, right?
Well, that's what Southern did. They got Clay Helton. I mean, and I question him as a coach, but clearly he wasn't a god-awful recruiter.
I mean, he won a Rose Bowl.
Yeah, and he's had guys get drafted first-round picks, you know? While USC was shitty. Like, he was still putting guys into the league that were top picks.
Yeah, you know how, what's Rick Pitino, how he went to, like, that random school? Iona, yeah.
Iona.
You go find, like, you go get Art Browse.
Well, you know, he keeps getting everywhere he goes. The man was going to be the offensive coordinator with what's-his-face at Southern, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he got, like, 3 days later was gone because of the backlash.
But you got to find you an Art Browse or Hugh Freeze, somebody who really fucked up.
You got to get him from Liberty. Because Liberty obviously had Malik Willis, and they
got it from Auburn.
They were ranked at one point 2 years ago.
Yeah, you got to get somebody who really fucked up, like Lane 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Sark if he gets another DUI.
You're a dick. Come on, man. Sark's been clean for 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah.
And you want to know how I know? Because Arthur Blank was fucking giving him the breathalyzer. The door doesn't open unless he blows into it. Well, so he could never show up to work hammered. He could never show up to the facility hammered. Any drinking he did had to have happened the night before, and his ass was flushing it the very next day. The day off for the guys, he was flushing it, and he was watching film.
Hey, you know who I think Georgia State should go after?
Who?
Herm. He's about to get fired.
Oh, big time.
Go get Herm. You don't think Herm can recruit some Atlanta niggas? And then we make a move, and then G State. If State gets to a Power 5 conference,
I mean, why can't he do it in Tempe?
I'm talking about telling some niggas to stay home and hang out with their scammer friends and keep scamming and playing football.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, I don't care what you do after. Just be back at the facility on Monday.
On time.
Maybe. But you need somebody like that, and I think
Herb is the perfect guy. Throw the bag at Herb if you're Georgia Tech. Throw the bag at him. Seriously, give him whatever he wants.
I know what you're saying.
Give him $15 million a year.
I just think Georgia State's the better school because Georgia State can get the kids in.
They can, but Tech already has at least a little bit of a.
They're Tech. They're in the ACC.
They've won before.
Yes.
They've won. Paul Johnson with nothing but running the ball won an Orange Bowl against an SEC school. Dan Mullen, Dak Prescott. They beat them. And that team was ranked number 1 at one point in the season.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't make sense for Georgia.
He did it with doing nothing but running the football.
I agree. Or maybe it's even Southern.
Because, especially because we're on week 1 recap. What's his name? Jeff Collins, coach at Tech.
Uh-huh.
After, I mean, everybody expected Clemson to beat the shit out of Tech, but like
they played them tight for so long, and then they just blew it.
4-point game at halftime.
Yo, Clemson's not good.
They aren't, and what it is DJU isn't good. Like, and I think I put it in the group. I forgot the guy's name. The guy that's back up, that's a 5-star.
Yeah,
the top 3 guy. Yeah, that's gonna be his job by week 7.
I think week 4. When did Trevor take over for Kelly Bryant? Same week.
Like week 4.
Yeah. That's what we're looking at because DJ ain't good.
He isn't.
He's living off that Notre Dame game.
He lives off the Notre Dame game. Literally.
I was in and out of that game because I was that game was Monday. I was just drunk as fuck. I was in and out of that game, and I'm like, yo,
this guy stinks.
Yeah,
like he can't make the throws.
What about your man Brian Kelly? Or is that my guy?
I didn't get to watch the game. I didn't watch the game. I was traveling.
I was traveling and driving and trying to watch as much as I could. Honestly,
plus the West Coast time threw me off a little. Like,
it was sloppy. It was just sloppy.
I saw how it ended. I did see the highlight. I obviously missed it. Or did they block the extra point?
Yeah, and people say he should have went for 2. Whatever.
Yeah, apparently there were 2 special teams miscues already.
Yeah, it was just sloppy football. It was just fucking sloppy football. And I don't know if it's because Brian Kelly's not – I'm not going to blame Brian Kelly. I'm going to blame Brian Kelly for it. It's week 1. It's week 1. The O-line wasn't good. Butte wasn't getting the ball. I don't know if that was scheme. I don't know if that was quarterback. I don't know if that was him. But it was just bad. And, I had to eat my shit as a fucking Brian Kelly truther in the group text. I'm like, yeah.
That's why it was crazy when you said they'd be contending for a national championship in 3 years. And I'm like, LSU will be back because the last 3 coaches there have won national championships.
Well, hold on 1 second. NBC's getting pretty desperate. They were having a Law and Order premiere event with 3 of their different Law and Order units on the same case. So SVU, regular Law and Order, and organized crime.
Why were deputies serving a warrant this late at night?
Because I think police officers want to do things where they can get into some action. And then when stuff like this happens, they want to blame the criminals for being criminals.
But why this late at night? And I get it, maybe because they're at home, as opposed to during the day they might not be there. But like,
I shit like 6 in the morning when they sleep. Or 8 in the morning before they leave.
We gotta stop this.
How about you do some good cop work like the good criminals do, right? The people who like breaking houses. You actually like peep the schedule. And then you catch them as soon as they come home or they're about to walk out the house. And you're right there as they're coming out. Hey, how you doing, man? We got this warrant, man. We're just trying to,
And because officer such and such is right there. We've got you surrounded. So if you think that you want to do something, we are ready. If not, you can come peacefully and we can talk about it at the station.
I mean, because think about it. If somebody knocks on your door late at night, police serving a warrant, and you guilty and you live a criminal life, oh, I'm busting. I ain't going back. I don't know. I just think not. I think we have too many cops who don't know criminals and know how criminals think. So like they think that they're like cop thinking is like the right way to think. I'm like, bruh. I don't know.
I'm sorry, this guy Juke. Just because I'm looking at it, this guy Juke, his team got Josh Allen saved his ass here at the end of the game.
I didn't even look at fantasy.
He got 29. He went from having like I told you, it was 20 total for his team. Josh Allen got him because obviously the Tyler Bass field goals. Josh Allen got him literally 17 more points here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I got a good day at the office.
Well, I love it because he's playing Justice. And the thing is, Jude's not going to be a factor. So if Jude can just steal a game from Justice early, it puts him behind the 8 ball very early in the season.
Hey, question for you.
Go for it.
I thought about changing my fantasy team to Herman Boone's Coons. Is that too far?
Wait. Herman Boone's Coon?
Yeah.
I support it.
I thought it was fucking hilarious when I thought of it. I was like...
Obviously, there's some racial undertones. And, I mean, you could say goons, right? I mean, that rhymes too. But I think Coons only makes sense just because even in the movie, they were like, I'm not playing for no Coach Coon. So it kind of like...
Right.
You know, it's Julius, it's Red, it's Petey. It's all the black guys on the team.
Yeah, it's the fat nigga on the O-line.
Yeah, right, that motherfucker. the nigga that told Petey what you thought we was playing, he didn't know, Petey. All right.
Hey, what do you think about Ohio State and Notre Dame? I thought Notre Dame did what they were supposed to do. Now that Ohio State cover.
Exactly. And you know what? The dead giveaway, I was telling everybody this out there when we were out there. The dead giveaway, there were 2 dead giveaways for that. Why I wish I just took Ohio State minus 6.5 first half. That was what my pick was. I think that the biggest thing was, for one, the Georgia and Oregon game and that game. Those are the 2 biggest games of the day, and they had similar spreads. More than likely, one of those teams was going to cover. Like one of the dogs was going to cover. After Georgia mollywopped them that way, there was no way college football was going to allow a second top 15 matchup, and in that case, top 5 matchup to be a blowout. That's one. 2, Coach Freeman, literally for bulletin board, asked about the spread.
Yeah,
typically, coaches don't talk about the spread because it doesn't mean anything to them. They're prepared to get in the game. He literally asked. He's like, what did you say the spread was again? 17.5? He's like, okay. And that should have been the tell-all there, too.
Hey, look here. Georgia, Oregon is on the SEC network right now. And I just watched the Stetson run around play and hitting McConkey in the end zone.
Hold on one second, too.
Go Dogs and sick 'em. I don't think y'all understand, man. And maybe I have too much confidence with this team, but I got so much confidence with this team. I mean, I have so much confidence with this Georgia team because if Stats keeps this up, if Stats keeps putting up stats, we're on our way to the top. I mean, we are on our way to the top. Because we don't usually get a Georgia offense and the Georgia defense that clicks like this. I mean, we got the best tight end room in the country. What's my man's Herbie said we got the best tight end room ever. I don't follow recruiting well enough to say that. I mean, I just watch what they put on the field. And I mean, Jesus Christ. You can really line up 3 tight ends that are better than most teams' receivers. You still got them big hogs in the trenches. I mean, this is just great. You got Stats coming back with something to prove. He wants to be a Heisman candidate. Not because I don't even think it's about just winning the Heisman for his own like glory, right? It's about proving to people that he was one of the reasons that we won this national championship. Proving the fans wrong, proving some of his coaching staff wrong. I mean, my God, he didn't have the starting job until JT got hurt. And Stats just like, nah, bro, it's my time. 254 in the first half. Just a work of art, man. Let me tell you what. Hey, Paul, let me tell you. This is Adam from Cartersville, Georgia. Dogs fan. Been Dogs fan since I could spell the word dog.
Long time listener, first time caller.
There we go. Long time listener, first time caller. Thank you, Paul, for letting me in here. I'll tell you what, Matthew Stafford, he was my favorite Georgia quarterback. No, he wasn't. I like David Green. He really got us going.
Hell, Aaron Murray was really before Stetson. He was the one that really was the closest to getting us a natty. If that boy just doesn't fall down on the fucking 3-yard line.
Or you know what? Or they call that touchback when Honey Badger runs in the end zone. He drops the ball off early. That was a touchback, Paul.
And you know it, Paul.
You watch film, Paul. You know it, Paul. Aaron Murray, best Georgia quarterback ever. I don't give a damn about NFL. Aaron Murray. When Aaron Murray stepped on the field for them Dogs, we thought we was going to win. But guess what? Stets, he brought it to us. And Stets is going to win this Heisman. He's going to bring it back to Athens. First one since Herschel. Vote for Herschel Walker. Yeah, we vote for Herschel Walker. Here, go Dogs, sick 'em.
We're not putting that big nose Morehouse coon looking nigger back in that office.
Warnock, Warnock used to be a pastor at that church that Martin Luther King came. Martin Luther King, he supported socialism and communism. Do you really think we want to support a preacher who came from that church?
And they went to that Negro college.
That HBCU. Do you know they don't even let whites into the HBCUs? Oh. That nigga Paul would hang up the phone so quick.
Right. No, he would. He would. He would, because if he didn't, his ass would lose the show. With cancel culture, he'd be done. Even though he didn't say it, the fact that the producer didn't cut it.
I don't know if cancel culture gets to Paul Feinbaum on time. Because he's getting numbers.
Yeah. But he's been doing it. And that's why ESPN gave him the contract.
But the crazy thing is, Paul has a pretty lazy show. Like, Paul doesn't do shit. Like, he does the interviews, and then he just lets people say dumb shit.
And then he makes money off of it.
I'm not mad at him. Paul. Anyways, week 1, honestly, it was a dud. College football just... They don't put enough good games on in the same weeks. But week 2, we have one game that we care about, and it's about Alabama making sure that they beat the holy dog shit out of Texas. This game cannot be close because, God forbid, it's close. The Sark fans of the world, the anti-SEC nation will say, see, Bama's not with it. Paul, I told you. Texas is going to come to the SEC. We're going to run shopping there. We got
Especially when they get that Manning boy back under. When that Manning boy is under center, we've already seen what 2 Mannings could do in the SEC. What do you think the third one's going to do in the SEC? And apparently, he's got the most hot of all of them coming out. I mean, the boy doesn't have a social media, and somehow, some way, he's just focused. He's a sponge. All he does is focus on football.
And the difference between Cooper and Eli and Peyton.
Pineapple under the sea. Okay.
You understand Cooper, he took on Archie's athleticism. That's why he named his son Arch. Because he has the arches in his feet just like his granddaddy. And he can run just as fast and throw that ball just as far. See, Peyton can only throw the ball 50 yards. He got more of an Eli arm.
Good 50-yard ball, but that's all he could do with it.
He's got an Eli arm. He got Peyton accuracy, and he got Archie Manning's feet, baby. He's going to be the best quarterback Texas history. You know what? Hook 'em horns. Sorry, Vince Young, but Arch Manning is going to take us back to the natty.
And he's got that Manning neck, so you know that he's ready to play. That stiff neck.
I ain't gonna lie, though. I watched some Arch highlights the other day, and he be dropping dimes.
Man, it was – oh, you're to Arch. I don't know why I was about to say Archie.
Give a damn about Archie old ass. They had bags on their heads when he was playing.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. I'm like, you had me, but you're talking about Arch, not Archie.
I just want Texas. I really want Alabama to curb stomp Texas because I'm really tired of Colin Cowherd bigging up USC and Miami and Texas because he wants
Cowherd low-key. I'm not gonna say he has West Coast bias, but like, of course, he wants the West Coast because he's a West Coast guy. So like,
not even just West Coast bias. He has big market bias because he wants college football to be a national sport
when it's just a Southern sport, really.
Yeah, it's like the talent.
Southern and Midwest.
Have you heard Kirby talk? Have you heard Jimbo talk? Have you heard Dabo talk? Even Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley is from the plains of Texas. He's not a California guy.
It's a Southern sport. I mean, but like I said, if we look at it, 3 out of the 4 biggest recruiting states are Southern. Texas, Georgia, Florida. They're Southern states. And then there is California, your California guys. And a lot of those California guys, they typically, it's the all-American black guy. It's the all-American white guy. And then there's the, like, Samoans / mixed guys. Like, guys that have gotten the tribal tattoos, like Nico or something, like basically.
I mean, you're not lying. And the thing is, California is big. There's a bunch of athletes.
Up and down the coast.
Yeah. And then you look at the random states like Ohio.
Who put out a lot of talent.
Midwest, baby.
North Carolina has a say-so, too. Alabama as well.
Yeah. Louisiana.
For sure. Oh, for sure. Louisiana's got plenty of talent.
Hey, one of my partners, you'll meet him the week we play Pittsburgh. He's from Michigan. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He's come to the game with me. He actually was checking Allen Robinson in a high school game and at corner picked off a pass on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So basically, where did he play?
Just high school ball.
No college?
Nah, he went to TSU and now he's a cooking motherfucking cook.
Like chef.
Yeah, like chef. Like he's about to open up a food truck. He's a sous chef at a really nice restaurant over there. Where do the rich people live in Atlanta? Not Buckhead. Sandy Springs.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a sous chef at a really nice restaurant in Sandy Springs now.
There's a restaurant out there I really want to try. It's a steakhouse.
What's the name of it?
Kaiser's. Apparently, the guy that what am I saying? The guy, like, it's not the name of his steakhouse. Kevin Rathman and some guy named Kaiser. They're like the co-executive chefs of it. But the menu looks better than. And I love Kevin Rathman. Kevin Rathman does a mean Ayu gratin sweet potato. It is out of this world. It's ridiculous.
Let's go Saturday.
Honestly, I'd be totally down. Because Tora and Maury, they don't even get back until Sunday. So I'm living the dream the next 2 days, I guess.
Yeah, let's just go get like a really nice fucking dinner. Get a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And
prepare ourselves for disappointment or surprise. Because that's the only way it's gonna. Well, I tell you what, there really is no disappointment.
No, because it's only disappointment if the game is close and we falcon it at the end.
That's the only way. That's the only way it can be disappointing. If
they give us blue balls.
Arthur Smith actually did a good job of winning close games last year. That's why we went 7-10. We actually won. Granted, they were all on the road, but we would win a close game, basically.
Except for the Washington game at home.
The Washington game at home and then Buffalo, because we were beating them at halftime. And what that came down to them calling that Matt Ryan running that ball out.
Are you impressed by AR-15? Or excuse me, Anthony Richardson?
No. And like I said, I didn't watch the whole game, but obviously I saw highlights. I think on paper, as good as both of us thought Utah was, at the end of the day, on paper, Florida, A, should have more talent. B, the game was at the Swamp. And then C, They only won by 3, and it was because Utah threw an intercept. I mean, he made a play.
Right.
The corner made a play, but it's because Utah turned the ball over with 22 seconds left. They were going to score, and worst case went to overtime, which they could have won. And so, no, to answer you, I think that this week, if they cover the spread against Kentucky, maybe.
You know, Josh Holsey. You good. Josh Holsey pulled a Josh Holsey in the group text, right? He wants to run his mouth and blabber this and that and the third, right? Because he is a Florida fan. And Pierce and I picked Utah. It looked really good in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State last year. Bringing back talent. They're good in the trenches. Florida new coach Billy Napier. We don't know what to expect. Yeah, let's go with Utah. Utah loses by 3, and he's just like, I want y'all to say that you're wrong. Look here, guys. Let me tell you something. I have takes. We have Lee's ledge. And guess what? The thing about Lee's ledge, sometimes I'm going to fall off the ledge. And other times, I'm going to be hanging on by my pinky toe. I'm going to be the only person on that ledge because I double down on what I believe in. And Josh Holsey has this idea that if you make a take, you're supposed to ride that take out after you've already been proven wrong and still defend it. And it's like, no, I was wrong. I made a prediction, and that shit happens. Part of making public takes and not group text takes.
Well, and more importantly, we're all wrong.
Yeah, often.
We're all wrong. You know, we don't always get it right. Hell, once we review last week's picks for college football, I made a couple of mistakes, but all in all, they were all very close. I mean, none of them were not close.
And that's the thing, man. Like,
I mean, we're acting like I said, just like I said with the Utah game, because I know that's what you're specifically talking about. You know, him and Justin trying to chastise us both in the group, but it's just like they were favored, and we understood why, and we were riding with it because we didn't believe in Florida. Florida is still, at the end of the day, is Florida. They're still a top, in terms of programs, they're a top 10 program in college football. And they're playing against a team that might be the only non-Mormon college in Utah.
I still don't think they're non-Mormon because they're in Utah.
Exactly. And so they're now they were just really good last year. They played great. They smoked Oregon twice. They could have beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
You want to hear a funny Utah story?
Quarterback and running back. They were returning all these top players. It wasn't a crazy take to say that they would win the game. They almost did. They turned the ball over in the red zone at the end of the game. They could have went to overtime, and who knows what happened. I mean, Florida should have won that game on paper. They honestly should have won the game.
And Anthony Richardson looked really good. And the people that I listen to, because unlike some of our friends, you know, we have friends who say they trust their eye test. And I watch enough football and I consume enough sports to understand that even if I see something, I'm going to be wrong. So I want to hear different perspectives because they watched the same thing I watched and they saw it differently. So I admit that I don't know much about. The more I learn, the less I know. I say that all the time. The more I learn, the less I know. I even had like one of my ledge topics that I was going to put out here was like, hey, I don't think we really know how to evaluate players properly because people really thought that Tua was better than Justin Herbert because Tua put up better numbers in college, but Justin Herbert didn't get to show off his talent, and Tua had nothing but NFL receivers. You know, like evaluating talent is just super fucking hard. But I listen to different people because I get that I don't understand certain stuff or I see it one way and that may not be the right way. So I want to get a different perspective. Like I want to bounce something off of you and be like, hey, bro, I saw this shit and here's how I think about it. Like most people, like my Jokic stances, my Russell Wilson stances, my Luka stances, like these are things that people don't really vibe with. But I go, here's how I see it. But I'm open to being wrong. And I'm saying all that to say that, bro, people be having wrong takes. And if you want to like live and die on your take percentage, that means you're not putting enough takes out there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this week we're going to have some really good takes because now we've got some film. And we know that there are certain teams that are going to be in a certain position already because everybody knows if you start 0-2 in college football, you're not doing anything. No. And in the NFL, you're putting yourself in a really tough spot. I mean, really tough. Well, Giannis got hurt today, apparently.
You know what? Good for him.
I think the NBA, they're going to start putting in these guys' contracts they can't do with certain stuff.
And I think the good guys are going to say
they're going to take those guys out of pro-ams for sure.
I think the good guys like LeBron are going to be like, no.
Like, but see, the LeBron thing, like, especially with Jay crossover with Jamal Crawford's league, the games were in Seattle. It's like the people of Seattle never get to see LeBron
right
play. Like, so it made it really cool because it's like he's playing at a local high school or a college, like a smaller college, and it's like LeBron James is playing in Seattle tonight. Like, that's awesome.
Hey, question for you though. If they put it in I'm talking to the Giannis, Rudy Gobert, the Lucas. I ain't talking like the Evan Fournier. If Giannis goes out there and plays, and they tell him not to play,
I know you probably can't see it.
Where's that at?
It's Josh Holsey sending me a picture on Instagram of him at a bar boozing.
Who cares, Josh? I'm boozing at home. But if Giannis goes out and plays, right, and he gets hurt playing for Greece, are you really going to avoid his contract?
Well, they can't do anything about that, but they'll probably make it to where if it's not a qualifier or the actual Olympics, you can't play.
If
you don't really need to have chemistry with them.
Chet got hurt in Seattle. If you are OKC, do you void his contract and make him a free agent?
Absolutely not.
So if you're one of the guys, it don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what you're saying, it sounds good until somebody goes, all right, bro, void my contract because somebody else will pay me.
And they'll pay me more.
KD got paid the full max coming off of an Achilles. They gave him
the brother.
They gave him $40 million. They gave him $40 million, knowing he would not touch the court that year.
Same with Clay. And granted, but think about what contracts are. You're getting paid for what you've done. Sometimes what we think you're gonna do, but typically for what you've done.
And that's why I support.
Like Darius Garland's contract was more about what they believe he's gonna do, as opposed to what he's done. Because he only had one season where he looked where he was an all-star.
On or off the record, I hope that I can have an honest conversation with Colin about Darius Garland, because I don't think there's much difference between the two.
There isn't. He statistically, Garland's a little bit better of a ball distributor, but outside of that, I think that Colin's just as good, if not a better scorer.
That's why
the Donovan Mitchell trade was kind of perfect, because in a weird way.
Oh yeah, Darius Garland is about to be a distributor.
I know, but I'm saying, but with Colin and Donovan Mitchell, kind of the same guys. Like, they're both gonna score the ball.
I'm telling you, long shot bet.
They're undersized, technically twos that play one.
I'm putting it here. Long shot bet. Colin Sexton scoring title.
I told him about that take, and he was on board. He's like, yeah.
And like,
bro, I think he's really gonna have a lot to prove this year. I would not. It would, especially with the All-Star game in Utah. If they're competitive, let's say by All-Star break they're 20 and 26, and he's averaging 25, I think he gets in.
I think Adam makes a call.
Well, you want to host a guy to host.
Exactly. And the
And
way
he's a young player, and it will make it to where Utah is appealing still. It's like you can come to Utah too and play.
and
I know my black ass is going to be there for All-Star Weekend. I wanted to be in Cleveland, but Colin wasn't playing. So,
golly, I know I can't make it for All-Star Weekend.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Man,
But
you're going to
no.
be getting used to being a daddy at that point.
Yeah, yeah. But like I'm like the way I'll explain the take to him if he comes to the game on Sunday, it's like, hey man, look, I know that roster ain't what it's gonna be. And you're just gonna have free range to get busy because Danny Ainge don't want to win. And so you ain't gonna have nobody pass it to. But anyway, let's talk bets.
They're gonna get rid of Clarkson, they're gonna get rid of Bogdanovich, and they're gonna get rid of
Mike Conley. And two of those three are gonna be Lakers, and Bogdanovich is gonna be one of them.
Yep, Bogdanovich, and only if they move Russ will Conley be there.
I'd rather them go Bogdanovich.
I'd like Clarkson.
I'd rather go Bogdanovich and Clarkson, so Clarkson can come off the bench.
Well, he's younger, right? And he'll come off the bench.
Pat Bev can be the starting guard who plays defense because he's not the point guard.
Yeah, because Russ will be the point guard.
No, Braun.
Well, but yes.
I'm not talking. Russ ain't on that team when games matter. Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking at my feet right now, and I'm pretty disappointed with the pedicure I paid for last week.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just seeing some stuff on my feet that's not acceptable. Like I can't wear flip flops tomorrow. I'll become a Birkenstocks guy.
Really?
Yeah.
It depends on the flip flops. It depends. I mean, I've had some Hugo Boss ones for a minute that have held up really well.
I want to be rich.
They're not uncomfortable. They're not uncomfortable. You remember the foam Adidas ones? Those used to really be the ones. I want a pair of Yeezys just because I've heard a lot about those being comfortable too.
I've heard good things.
Yeah. They're plain. They're not really that stylish, but like everybody knows what they are when you wear them because it's like, oh, those are Kanye's. Like, you know.
They're the off-brand version of the Yeezy slides that they sell at Costco.
Okay. Oh, well, I was about to say, Adidas sells one too. And apparently that's why Mr. West is very much upset because they are basically stealing. They're like selling his shit.
Well, I'm pretty sure they did it the right way. I just want people to know that I'm not necessarily pro-business. I just say, hey, what's the contract? And if somebody exploits it, I'm not mad at them.
Well, because that's the point of putting it together that way.
Hey, I also got me a retro Mike Vick jersey for
Sunday?
the game. Huh?
For Sunday?
For Sunday, yeah.
I haven't decided what I'm going to wear yet.
I'm going retro Mike Vick jersey. I got off McCurry or whatever that thing's called, and I'm going to clean up my old Vicks and throw those on.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a good look. I'm either going to do Jamal Anderson. I got a white 98 Jamal Anderson.
Oh, that's nice.
Or I got my Grady Jarrett. I mean, he's the only one because I got a Todd Gurley and a Matt Ryan, and neither of them are there. And so I don't know why I bought the Todd Gurley the more and more I think about it.
Because he's the Bulldog.
Well, and I expected him to honestly – he wasn't even that bad with the Rams. He had like 950 yards and 10 touchdowns with the Rams the season before. So it was like,
right, he wasn't.
Why can't he come here and do better with Julio and Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan?
Came here with us and scored touchdowns. He scored a lot of touchdowns.
I think he probably got like 10. And he hasn't been in the league since.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm still gonna wear my Julio jersey. I don't give a fuck.
It's a Mitchell and Ness throwback at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear it. I just won't wear it when it's the Julio color rush. I like it. Nice jersey. I'm just not gonna wear it against Tampa Bay.
Oh, where he's number 6?
Mark of the beast.
Man, let's get into these college picks.
Yeah, let's get to these picks.
We're gonna recap last week. We went 3-3. I'm gonna count it as 3-3.
Okay.
We went 3-3 last week. We had the 3 wins being South Carolina covered, UCLA covered, Missing out on one. And Arkansas covered. I technically did tell everybody. I said fuck it at the end, and I said take the 7. But I, of course, even in explaining it, I said I'm going to buy half a point because I hate pushes. And that's exactly what happened. They ended up winning by 7. If you bought that half a point at 6.5, you won. You hit the bet. And so
which bet are we talking about?
Arkansas, Cincinnati. Ended up being a 7-point game. And the line, it moved up to that. It originally started at 6. It was 7 at the day that we talked about it. So I told everybody to buy the half a point because I felt really good about them probably beating them by more than a touchdown. So then I said, fuck it. Let's just go with -7. And it ends up being 7. But I explained in the video, I also hate pushes.
And I put minus.
Like I said, I hate pushes. So I was like, just buy the half a point. So
they ended up put -7 in the description too.
Yeah. Well, we'll just act like that didn't happen.
Come at it.
What was I going to say, though? Of course, Florida State, LSU, we took LSU money line. They lost by 1, a game that was very winnable.
Clemson -12.5 first half.
They were getting ready to cover it. They were up 11, and they, turned the ball over or something. Or it was like a key third down. They were in the middle of the field. They could have got to get in field goal range. They didn't get it, so that one lost by 1.5 points. And then
Clemson, Tommy Tuberville style.
Yep, exactly. Taj Boyd and all those guys. And then what was the other loss? You gotta go to it. Hold on.
Ole Miss versus Troy.
Yeah, man. Okay, so this was the one I was a little heated about. They gave up the touchdown in the last 3 minutes. It fucked it up. They ended up winning by 18. And like I said, all they had to do is they could have given up a field goal and they could have covered. They gave up a touchdown, though. And so, unfortunate, but basically pretty spot on for the most part. Everything fell short by a few points. And
hey, and you know what? Real quick, the reason why I really rocked with the Georgia game is that we didn't give up the touchdown. And the 3 points that they scored it early. It was against the ones, but once we started putting the second string in, they didn't give up garbage points. They wanted to hold that no touchdown, especially against their fucking old DC Dan Lanning. Nah, bro, you left. It's on site.
Yep. So 3-3 after week 1, but we've got a tasty 6-pack of IPAs for week 2 of college football, and it starts right here. We're going to start off with a team that didn't cover for me last week that cost me about $27,000, and that was Oklahoma State on Thursday. They were up 51-15, and somehow they didn't fucking cover it. I just, for the life of me, I really don't understand how that didn't happen. I think Arizona State's a bad team. Emory Jones is the quarterback, and I don't think that they're very good. They ended up covering, but
you don't believe in her?
I think that Oklahoma State showed me enough to where they just basically eased up on the dogs and didn't get it done. So we'll go with Oklahoma State at home against Arizona State -11.5. We're not going to buy any points or anything. I really like them to just get it done outright and get the cover. That's game 1. Game 2, we're going to move to the Pac-12. USC at Stanford. They currently have the spread at 8.5. I don't know why Stanford would be an 8.5-point dog against USC. I feel like that number should be a little bit higher, considering USC exploded for points. And at the end of the day, it was a warm-up game. It was Rice. But at the same time, I know this is a conference game, but come on, man. Stanford doesn't have the guys that USC has anyways, regardless. Even last season, they didn't have the same guys. They don't – I think that with the new regime and a lot of people picking USC to be a semi-dark horse, I think that they have no problem taking care of business on the road. They're right in the top 10 probably for the first time in at least 5 years, I'd have to imagine.
So Sam Darnold.
So I like USC to get it. Yeah, basically when he was there. Yeah. So I like USC to get the 8.5 cover at Stanford. Next game, we have Kentucky at Florida. as we talked about with the Florida game, you were impressed with AR-15. I didn't get to watch the game, but at the same time,
I was not impressed with AR-15. I was impressed by who the people I listened to and respect felt about him.
Okay.
Because I didn't watch the game either.
I want to see what he can do against Stoops. And I think because Kentucky, ever since he's gotten there, has been humming. 2 out of his last 4 years, they've won 10 games. They've won all their bowl games. Obviously, 4 straight winning seasons, 2 8-5 seasons, 2 10-3 seasons. I like that. If you got to go against Georgia and Florida and potentially Alabama every year in that span and you're winning 10 games, you're doing something right. Plus, Will Levis is the quarterback. Pretty solid team. They've just been really good, honestly, over the past 4 years. I like for them to get the cover. They're a dog. They have it at +6, but we're going to buy the 1.5. So we're going to take Kentucky +7.5 at Florida. I don't see how they lose by more than a touchdown. Really good team, and I just really think that Kentucky can get it done. And even ironically, SVP's got it on my screen here. 4th meeting is ranked teams first since 2007. So should be a pretty entertaining game, and those type of games are typically close. Give me the team. They're giving me the points. Kentucky +7.5.
Hey, so no Chris Rodriguez doesn't bother you at all?
No Chris Rodriguez. What?
No Chris Rodriguez doesn't bother you with Kentucky?
No.
The football school or basketball school? We don't know yet.
Well, like I said, they are a basketball school. But we're talking about 2 out of the last 4 seasons, they're a 10-3 team. They're going to the swamp. But a game like this, if Florida covers, it'll tell me that that I should take them a little bit more seriously.
That's fair.
So I want to see them do it. They're a don't tell me, prove me type school. I need it to be proven to me. Kentucky, for all intents and purposes, granted, Florida went to the SEC championship 2 years ago, but
COVID season, Georgia was down.
Better than them in the last 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, COVID season, Georgia was down, and they had Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts, and yeah,
not Antonio Pierce, the guy for the Texans. They had Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney.
They were actually loaded with talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Next game, we got Baylor at BYU. Give me Baylor money line. I don't know why they're dogs against BYU. BYU's a team that sees a lot of turnover. Tyler Algier was a huge part of why they were pretty good last year. This is probably the first big game that BYU's had at home in a minute. Give me Dave Aranda, man, and the Baylor Bears. We're talking about a team that won the Big 12, that won the Sugar Bowl last year, and that's coming in with something to prove this season. They're already a top 10 team, and this is a ranked game. This is a kind of a statement win for them that they can say, hey, we can beat a ranked team on the road too. So give me Baylor money line. Next, let's see. 1, 2. We went through 4. Yeah, we've got 4.
4.
All right, next. This was not going to surprise too many people, and we were obviously talking about it a little bit earlier. The game that matters this week, Alabama at Texas. Alabama's going to kick the shit out of Texas. Give me Alabama -20.5. I don't see how they keep it close. I think that Sark needs another year in order to get this thing where he really wants it to be. And, I remember Texas played with Tom Herman. They played Notre Dame to start the season. I think they actually won that game because that was the game where everybody was like, "Is Texas back?" You know what ended up happening? Texas went 7-6, and so.
You want to hear something funny about this game right here?
What?
I was in the car riding back from New Orleans with the wife, right? And I didn't even know the spread yet. I was listening to a podcast talking about it. I was like, Alabama, Texas. I go, if Texas is lucky, it's 35-14, probably 42-14. But I was like, I'm pretty sure Alabama covers. Line comes out, 20.5. I go, yep, see, 35-14, that's 21. See, we cover the spread. And she doesn't know gambling. She's like, I go, bet Alabama.
Wait till the game comes on, babe, and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. And I think Bijan Robinson, great running back. I mean, Ewers, they didn't really play anybody last week. So I can't put a pulse on it, but I have to think that this isn't a team that's ready to compete with the Alabama team that practically returned all their best players from last year, minus the wide receivers. Everybody else pretty much is back. So,
and the thing is, Alabama's wide receiver core is not what we would like for it to be, but their quarterback is Drew Brees with speed, with twitch and speed.
Yep.
And they have a coaching advantage. They have a front seven advantage.
There's going to be plenty of Alabama fans at the game. So I don't think home field is even going to be that big of a deal.
No. And does home field really matter? Like
in these situations before I don't bet against Nick Saban.
No, betting on Sark against Nick Saban is stupid. Hey, Paul, let me tell you something. I'm a Texas A&M fan. I've been watching Texas A&M since I left the Corps Cadets. And let me tell you what, boy, as much as I love the state of Texas, I would never, ever put my money on Steve Sarkisian when he's playing against Nick fucking Saban.
The great Nick Saban. Hell, they might as well change the fucking stadium from Brian Denny to Nick Saban Stadium. All right, I'll hang up and listen, Paul.
Hey, I think that's our stick for this season.
I'll hang up and listen, Paul.
I like that.
Now, so I think that they cover the 20.5. I think that they eke it out. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where they win
35-14.
They win by 40 points. Like
it's 35-14, bro. Like
I see them just getting it done. And so let's go with that. And then for our final pick of the college football six-pack, little less known game. It kind of gives a nod to kind of what we discussed about in the group. We got Oregon State at Fresno State, and this one's a pick 'em. Give me Fresno State at home. Oregon State, not bad. They beat Utah last year. They're not a bad school. I just think that games like this set up well for schools like Fresno that are just as talented, if not more talented, to get a win against a Power 5 team at home, and that seldomly comes because they don't typically get those games at home. They're typically going to be on the road playing them. So the fact that they get an Oregon State at home sets up well for them. Give me Fresno State at home on the money line.
all right, so let's go through this real quick. We got Oklahoma State at Arizona State. We're going to take Oklahoma State minus 11.5.
Uh-huh.
We got USC at Stanford, and we're going to take USC minus 8.5.
Yep.
We got Kentucky at Florida. We're going to take Kentucky plus 7.5. We're going to buy 1.5.
Yep.
We got Baylor at BYU. We're going to take Baylor on the money line. We got Alabama at Texas. We're going to take Alabama minus 20.5.
Yep. We're gonna lay that lumber on Nick.
We got Oregon State at Fresno State, and we're going to take Fresno State on the money line.
Yep. That sounds perfect to me.
You like it? I love it. And I've already picked my one for at least 3. Ready to get to the big boys?
Let's get to it, man. This is what the fuck we've been waiting for all year. Obviously, we got a kind of a bang here to start off the season with the blowout, semi-blowout. Yeah, it's a blowout. You lose by 21, it's a blowout. That's why we call it 21 skunk on man, right?
Yeah, absolutely. McVay would have to give up the sticks right now. McDermott would be like, hey, yeah, sticks. Yeah, nah, bro, you got to get off.
Next.
No, I'm not playing no more. You're 21. The game's over.
I gave you a chance to score when you're down 21 and you didn't. Game's over. Next.
If I go up 21, I'm not giving you a chance to score.
Exactly. Well, and that's pretty much what the Bills did. They got close and fourth down, they couldn't do anything. But okay, let's hop into it. We're going to start off. We're going to go the opposite direction with this. We're going to start off with the Monday night game.
Let's get it.
Very intriguing to me. Russell Wilson returns to Seattle. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman make their debut with Monday Night Football. Did it get any better? I know what I'm doing Monday night. On September 12th, on Monday night, my ass is going to be parked in front of this couch, on this couch in front of this TV. Haven't decided if I'm going to get wings or if I'm going to cook something, but we'll see.
Do we have a Manning cast that week? I hope not.
I can't listen that week. Well, I don't think ESPN. Maybe they will, but I gotta listen to. I'm excited to see what that looks like. I'm just really am. But more importantly, the game. They're hanging way too many points here with Denver. Give me Russell Wilson and the Broncos to cover this 6.5. I think he goes out there and he sticks it to Pete. I think that they make it a very entertaining and competitive first half, though. I think the 12s will be out. I think that they're going to be loud. It's going to be the loudest game that they have all season. It's the biggest game.
The only game they give a fuck about.
But I think that Russ ends up getting it done. It'll be one of those things where they're up 2 touchdowns late in the fourth and Seattle's driving and they have a chance to score to maybe make it a touchdown game. But then they fall short and get stopped because Geno just can't, he doesn't push he doesn't push the same buttons as Russ. So give me Seattle minus 6.5 in Russell Wilson's return. Next game.
You said Seattle minus 6.5.
Not Seattle, Denver. Russ, look, hey.
I know what you meant. I already had it. Look, I had it circled, right?
Yeah, Denver minus 6.5, not Seattle.
Yeah. I didn't say that, but.
Next game. We're gonna, like I said, we're kind of going backwards with this.
We are gonna have a Manning cast week 1.
Oh wow. I won't be tuning in.
I'm running 2 TVs.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
Yeah, my wife's
Who do they have as a guest is what's going to determine if I even switch.
My wife's definitely going to be in the bedroom during the second half of the game.
We're going to go backwards though. Now we're going to take it to Sunday night. We got Tampa Bay at Dallas. The over is set at 50.5. I don't see how this doesn't go over. Honestly, in what world? Well, hell, last year we saw with the season opener what it was. They were both in the 30s. In what world does this game go under 50.5? Unless we get a game similar to what we saw tonight, I don't see how it goes under. Dallas is good to give you 24, and Tampa's good to give you 30. So there's 54 right there.
Here's where I'll tell you where you could get your under. Both of their offensive lines not being what they need to be, but both defensive lines stepping up and being what we expect them to be.
Oh, I just don't expect DQ to shut down Brady. I think Brady, especially with all these reports that are coming out, he's pissed. He's pissed.
You don't think Brady wants the world to know that he's going through a divorce right now with one of the most beautiful women in the fucking world?
I think Brady wants everybody to know that once he's on that field, he's a different person regardless. And that he retired and came back for one reason only. He wanted to add another title to the list.
Oh, I thought you was going to say he retired because of fuck them kids.
Or he actually didn't really retire. He retired, but he told Tampa Brass, if you guys don't get Bruce out of here, I'm gone.
Or Stephen Ross said, hey, Michigan.
Right. Well, and they couldn't get it done because everything that came out, thanks to B-Flow, right? Or really, technically, thanks to Bill Belichick.
And I think Bill Belichick did it on purpose because that's in division.
Look, what a mistake to make. You text Brian Flores instead of Brian Daboll, and you don't realize which Brian you're texting.
I don't think he did that. And I didn't think
another league, and I've made that mistake before. I accidentally had called them once, but I was also drunk. And this girl's name is Lee. But you're saved in my phone as Lee, and she's saved as Lee, and then it's parentheses Spellman. Now it is. Now it is. But nonetheless,
you know what? Real quick conspiracy. Belichick knew that there was the tampering going on while he was in New England. And he didn't have the right way to bring it out without being a snitch. And then it comes up again. And then he tells B-Flow what he told B-Flow. And that opens up the whole thing. And now he's getting back at a division opponent who's trying to poach his quarterback while he was on his team. Bill Belichick knew the whole thing. And that's why B-Flow quickly got a job in Pittsburgh. Like, he didn't wait. Bill just called in. He called Tomlin like, hey, we're the guys around here. It's me, you, it's Andy. Sean's out of the fold right now because Sean was on that fuck shit with Tom. We can't fuck with him no more. Andy can't take him because he got Spags over there. And Spags play that wild shit. Bring my man on staff. Hold him down for 2 years. Bro, you know it's like that.
Well, and then of course, now the John Gruden Brady thing came out. That was indeed the team that they were talking about when he went on the shop and was like, wait a minute, you guys want this motherfucker over me? He was talking about Derek Carr.
Yeah, well, Gruden's stupid. Gruden did not deserve to get fired for his
Remember,
email.
he's a family man. He made a mistake, and he hopes to be back in football.
The biggest mistake he made was not bringing in Tom Brady.
And he apologized.
He could have moved Derek for 2 twos. And he would have fucking Brady. Yeah.
Over 50 Tampa Bay at Dallas. I just don't see how the offenses are clipping.
Hey, real quick for clip purposes, go back to your first bet.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start off with the Denver Broncos -6.5 at Seattle. Russell Wilson gets the W on the return.
Yep.
We're going to go over 50.5 on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Dallas Cowboys. I just really don't see how the defenses slow it down. And in that case, 27-24 is a perfect score. That gives you 51 if it's a 3-point game. I just see all that offense. It's just too much offense out there. There's just no way. Next game, another over. Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. This over is at 52. Give me the over. I mean, where's the shortage of points between these teams? That game's gonna be like 34-31.
Where's the defense on these teams?
Well, Chargers have improved, obviously, right? They're gonna get a full 100% healthy year out of Derwin James.
You believe that?
I do. They paid him like he was about to. Joey Bosa, you added Khalil Mack, and you got J.C. Jackson. So they're going to be good defensively, but Devontae Adams and J.C. Jackson's going to be a hell of a matchup. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. And Derek
J.C. Jackson's not playing week 1.
His boy back.
No J.C. Jackson week 1.
Oh, well, even more of a reason why we're only taking the over. We're not touching the spread or the money line here. We're going to take over 52 in that Raiders-Chargers game. Next game. Everybody knows how I feel, and even though I was teetering with going the other way on this one, let's look at the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. The spread is 7. We're going to buy a half a point here. We're going to take the Colts by a touchdown against Houston. I think that they make a statement and let everybody know that we're for real. We're not just going to win the AFC South. We're here to compete to win the AFC and potentially get a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan knows that time's running out. He's probably got 3 more years left. Probably 3 years left. He's got the best running game he's had since Michael Turner, and you could argue that Jonathan Taylor is better than Michael Turner. His receiving core, step above what he had last year in Atlanta, for sure, I think. Step above what he had in Atlanta, but definitely he's got a top 10 defense, and then he's got a top 5 offensive line. Those are the things that he's been missing. I expect him to come out, and in that first game, I think it looks like he's been there for a minute. Give me the Colts -6.5 in Houston. Next game. We got.
You say at -6 or -7?
So -7 by a half a point. I want a -6.5. That way we don't get a push. There's so many juicy NFL games. It's hard to narrow it down. Next game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Detroit Lions. This game is so interesting to me because the Eagles have the most tickets to win the NFC this year. For whatever reason, them and the Bills are the 2 most bet on teams. I get why everybody's got optimism on the Eagles. What has Nick Sirianni proven to anyone to where you think that he just jumps to the Super Bowl? I don't see how everybody's got that feeling about it. He changed
the Eagles' offense.
What does Jalen Hurts prove?
Huh?
What does Jalen Hurts prove?
He got to the playoffs.
There's a reason why they haven't paid him. They could have paid him. They could have wrapped him up already. It's just if he does well, it's just going to drive the price up more. Pay him they're not sure, and that's why they haven't paid him. And so I don't get it. I get it because of what they've added. They had a great draft. They made some solid trades, and they set themselves up to where they're still loaded with picks to where next year they can trade up. If that's so choose what they want. I don't know if they're going to be able to get into the top 3, but they're going to be able to trade up. So give me, and I'm just a big fan of Dan Campbell, and I think that what the Lions have going, as we talked about earlier or 2 weeks ago when we did our predictions, I have the Lions being basically my sneak-in playoff team. Give me them to cover +4 week 1. I like the Detroit Lions to cover +4.
Okay.
Next and final pick of the 6-pack. I was teetering between 2 different games. The week 1, well, really 3 of them. Week 1 is such a juicy slate. You got Green Bay at Minnesota, which is damn near pick 'em, and I feel like Minnesota's going to win, but that's not going to be it. Then you got the Patriots at the Dolphins, where the spread is +3.5 for New England, and that just is really appealing to me because new team, new coach, Miami, Bill Belichick, who they historically struggle in Miami, but at the same time,
Bill Belichick versus a
Mac
rookie.
Jones has dropped about 15 pounds, and he's in shape, and it's Bill Belichick, and they're playing against what's my man's name in Miami? McDaniels?
Mike McDaniels, first game.
Yeah, man. I get that he's got Tyreek Hill, and I know that Tua looked okay in the highlights that we've seen. Can't go with it. I am going to choose that game. We're going to do New England at the Miami Dolphins, and we're going to take the Patriots +3.5 on the road. And, of course, the one game that I know everybody was waiting on me to talk about, because that was the game I was going to choose, but for the sake of not going out on a whim, I didn't want to touch the Falcons game because I have such a bias towards it. But for those that do want a bonus pick, just a little snack, go ahead and take that Falcons money line, baby. I think that we get them to start off the season, and then I think we get the doors fucking blown off us next week because the Rams are going to be pissed. So, and I just think that those Saints-Falcons games, they always turn out that way. So Falcons money line with good value.
All right, so here we go. We got Denver at Seattle. We're going to take Denver -6.5. Tampa Bay at Dallas. We're going to go over 50.5. Las Vegas versus the Chargers. We're going to go over 52.
Yep.
Indy at Houston. We're going to take Indy at -6.5. We don't want to push at the 7. Philly at Detroit. We're going to take Detroit +4.
Yes, sir.
New England at Miami. We're going to take New England +3.5.
Yep.
And for the bonus pick, we got the Falcons money line.
Hit the music.
We are all here to do what Falcons do. Look at that.
All right, so as we close this out, wow, I didn't even do my own thing, right? Ain't that a bitch? You go in here, make sure that we're ticking. It ain't just sitting up there, right? Go edit, scroll across the bottom. So this year, I'm going to give you at least 3. And least 3 are going to be 3 bets from both of Parlay Pete's 6-pack that I like the most.
Let's hear it.
So least 3 this week is we're gonna go down to Palo Alto, right? And I like USC -8.5.
I think that's about where they are.
Huh? I like that USC minus.
No, I think that's
Yeah, and let me tell you, I'm giving you gimmies based out of your bets I really like, and I forgot what I was gonna say. My next one, Denver -6.5. You like it? I love it. I want some more of it. I'll be real with you. If you like an alternative spread on that one and you want to push it up to 8.5, don't be afraid of it. I think Russ puts foots in them.
I do too. I think he goes there with a vengeance.
And then my final bet,
We are all here to do what Falcons do. Look at that.
I'm taking Indy -6.5 versus Houston. Absolutely right. I'm riding the Matt Ryan train. I'm going to ride until I can't no more.
I love it. I think that's a hell of a parlay itself, especially combining both college and the NFL.
Absolutely. So, man, look at here, parlay pick.
I think it's the longest show we've ever done.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not breaking it up into 2 parts. I'm putting it up there. Fuck it.
Throw that shit out there. Let everybody know that we're Iron Men.
Absolutely. This is what happens when you get us talking through a football game and through a full set of topics. But hey, man, I'm gonna get the clips clipped up so we can put them up for tomorrow. We'll run the clips. I will see you on Saturday.
Let's get it done.
All right, Doc.
Go Dogs, rise up.
Go Dogs, rise up.
All right.
We are all here to do what Falcons do.
Look at that.